Happy Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to HeroesCCL Season 3. We're in week number 3, and this is our first day of matches. My name is Bahamut, and I am joined by Grubby and Justin for an awesome day of Heroes of the Storm action. And Grubby, I got to start out with you, my friend. Are you ready for an awesome day of great games?
I definitely am, and I'm looking forward especially to this first series that's going to be coming up. Getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but Oxygen against Diamond Hands, both have been playing great, and I've been looking forward to this for sure.
Oh, I absolutely agree, and I'm sure Justin is looking forward to all these great games today, right?
Yep, the first match is probably going to be a really exciting one. I expect that to go to the Game 5, possibly. And then we can't forget about the match afterwards, where we've got some roster changes coming into the mix. I guess both games, actually.
Yeah.
We're going to get to see the roster changes on display, so it's going to be interesting to see how the teams adapt with their new changes that they're making.
Yeah, there is a lot of really cool stuff we can talk about when we get to league standings, but we're not there just yet. We do have to inform you about, the wonderful prize pool that we have here at HeroesCCL. 60% of those donations will be going towards the prize pool. 35% will be taken by first place, as you can see the breakdown of that pricing on the left-hand side of your screen. The remaining 40% will come back to Wisdom to cover production costs, create amazing graphics, and run awesome broadcasts like you see here on Saturday and Sunday. If you'd like to check out the prize pool or donate to the Match Arena page, you can use !prize pool in chat to be able to get over there. And because of your support, we've hit $3,215. And Grubby, I gotta say, every week when we see this, every broadcast when we see this, it really makes my heart jump, and it makes me really excited for the potential of HeroesCCL every single week and every single season.
Yeah, and we hope that donation ticker can keep going up as people from the Heroes of the Storm scene are supporting this league that is here now. Definitely driven by your love and support for it, and if you're able to, also some contributions. It's going to make the players play better as they have more even to fight for the just honor and the baseline stipend, and it's going to be very encouraging to the scene in general for that for the esports here that they're going to be showing to all of you. So thank you so much to everyone that already has.
We always like to have little incentivization to, bring the community to push that prize pool a little bit. And, we've said, Grubby will probably bring Logan on around 4,000. I had someone pop into my stream this past week, and they were like, all right, we know that Logan's around 4,000, but how much for Springy? And I was like, look, Springy doesn't have a price. Springy jumps onto broadcast when Springy decides to do so. So maybe in the future we can find a way to get a few treats for that amazing friend for Justin. But yes, Grubby.
I got an idea. What about
if
we get to 4,000, we can have Springy and Logan do a high five through the webcam frame. Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, that is I already have production saying yes in the back of my mind, or the back of my headphones. So, Justin, that's for you to figure out. I'm sure Grubby's already got that ready to go for everyone at home. But thank you once again, everyone, for checking out the prize pool. If you'd like to do so, !prize pool. But let's get into the nitty gritty, because you two have already alluded to this, and I want to talk about the league standings, because this is really important, Justin. We are going to be having our two matches today, which are Diamond Hands versus Oxygen and Chili Mountain versus Granite. But look at their positioning, and this is really going to kind of move things around when it comes to the standings today.
Yeah, these are really important. Matches. Looking too hard now, but this is the match for them to win. Like, if they're going to start making a comeback in the standings, it starts here, especially against the other opponent who's down there at the bottom with them. So really important matches for all the teams today.
Yeah, we've got 4 amazing teams for you all today. 2 awesome best of 5s. And this is going to be just a fun day of games. We're going to get something fixed in the background really quickly. But it's exciting overall, because as what Justin was saying, not only will we see what's going to happen with the rosters of Oxygen versus Diamond Hands, but we're also going to be having that first win for the side of Granite Gaming versus Chili Mountain. As Justin said, Grubby, this is going to be both teams coming in 0-6 in map score, one of these teams will either get their first map win or even their first series win of the day. And while we're kind of just sitting here, elaborating on this, I'm curious, who do you think in that second best of 5 will be able to kind of come out on top? Or I just want to get your thoughts on it.
You didn't say who, me or him?
Oh, Grubby, sorry. My apologies. I thought I said your name. Sorry, there's a lot
maybe
happening.
You did. I was like trying to listen, like, okay, who is he gonna ask? Who is he gonna ask? I need to have my answer ready. So both are 0-3 so far, and
Yes.
I think Chili Mountain, they lost to Simplicity and Wildheart.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as 0-6s go, I think those are two of the stronger teams. Granite Gaming lost to Diamond Hands and to 30K. And one of those is 1-1. The other one is also 2-0. So they did meet strong teams, both of them so far, that can make it harder to gauge. So we have to roll back in time, think of the memory of those matches, and we say, okay, what has Chili Mountain tried so far? Well, in their inaugural match in this season, they open up with a Zeratul and a Tyrael. And then in the final map of that same series, they had a Zarya. All things the teams have found really difficult to make work so far. Zeratul, Tyrael, and Zarya have not been doing very well so far in CCL Season 2. I don't have the exact stats, but it's almost all losses. Then in the second series, Chili Mountain tried again. Tyrael, they tried Medivh Uther, which is also kind of weird. So I don't feel like their draft has been very traditional, which we'd be singing its praise now if it had worked, but it hasn't, and therefore we look at it like a scapegoat. Is it because of that or something else? Well, time will tell, I suppose. But purely based on what we think we can see on the surface right now, Chili Mountain's drafts haven't been as meta and as effective. So that doesn't bode well for them here. But what about Granite? Do you remember the drafts for Granite, Justin?
I'm not sure if I remember all of them exactly off the top.
Put them in front of you like I have them right now.
I have them somewhere. I'm really bad at the numbers thing right now. But
I wanted to hear from you. I'll just tell you. Granite Gaming, they also went Tyrael, and they also went Zeratul. So they also went Tyrael, Zeratul in their first match. And then last weekend, they had drafts that included Zeratul again, Deathwing, and Karazim. So also a little bit more out there.
Yeah, it's definitely not probably the best thing if you are in the bottom of the standings to be playing these really high skill cap, kind of difficult to play, just not straightforward heroes. That being said, between the two teams, I think Chili Mountain is the team that before the season started, I really had a lot of high expectations for them. I thought that might be a roster that could place in the top 3, even win CCL. At this point, it's looking a little bit rough for them until they make some changes and maybe shuffle things up. But I do think that Chili Mountain, for me, is a bit of a favorite going into the series. But again, it could easily go either way.
I would absolutely agree, and we haven't even dug into the other factor in this, and that Granite Gaming did have the roster change as well, and we do have some of these the roster changes you mentioned for this first best of 5 as well. So some different players, some different synergies to be built here, and I'm very much looking forward to that Granite Gaming versus Chili Mountain matchup. Just to be clear with all of you at home, we're making sure that things on the production side are nice and crisp and clear for everyone for the show. So we are getting one or two things just figured out on the back end. So we do apologize for the slight delay getting to the game. Just want to be transparent with all of you at home why you might be wondering why we're talking a little bit more and deliberating a little bit more on some of these matches. Just want to make sure that our show will be able to run nice and smooth for you all. So we're just getting those things fixed up, and then we can get moving into our first matchup of the day. It's going to be a very, very exciting one because we can get into this a little bit further, as we are going to be having that Oxygen versus Diamond Hands matchup. And as I mentioned on roster changes, we had Red Robot was actually swapped out of the Oxygen roster, and we had my pal Vince being drafted in. And Justin, as someone who's been around the community for a while, someone who's really been able to see a lot of great games, any expectations for my pal Vince coming in for Oxygen?
I know in the amateur scene, he's pretty feared on Varian and Diablo. I'm sure there's some more that he's more well known for, but those are the ones that I'm aware of that people have spoken about how him being strong on. I've definitely seen him around for a long time. He's one of the players who's been in the scene for quite a long time. Like I mentioned, I think that of the tank pool, he definitely was sitting near the cusp of getting drafted at the start, so it's not a huge surprise to see with teams looking to make changes on the tank side that he's the one who comes in. So I think it'll be interesting to see whether he's going to be able to compete with the other CCL tanks coming from, playing mostly in NGS and the amateur leagues.
Mhm.
So it'll be cool to see if he's able to fill the shoes of Red Robot. I think Red Robot played well in the last week's match and the week
Yep.
before,
Yeah.
so it's going to be definitely a bit of a uphill battle for him to fill that role. But
Yeah.
we'll see how he does in that position, because I mean that's a lot of pressure, but we'll see if he rises to the occasion or not.
Well, it looks like we are going to be having everything nice and rolling out right now, so we can go actually show you what the matches today will be looking like. We have got our 2 best of 5s, as we've been talking in depth about these, but we want to make sure that you all can visually see where we're going to be heading and what's the setup for all of this. Is we've got Oxygen Esports up against Diamond Hands for the first best of 5, and then we will close out our Saturday games with Granite Gaming versus Chili Mountain. These are going to be some awesome games, and we're really, really excited to be able to present them for you all today. And before we really get into our series, we do have to talk about some awesome other factors. We have Next Level Gaming joining us for Season 3 of HeroesCCL. What is Next Level Gaming? Well, it's an awesome esports center in Florida, and you can use !NXT to find out more information about this center. And they also, throughout the season of Season 3 of CCL, will be hosting watch parties every Saturday and Sunday. So if you live in the area, make sure you go and check out Next Level Gaming so you can hang out, watch some Heroes of Storm. And if you're sitting there and saying, "Ooh, man, there's a little bit of a break in between the first 2 best of 5s, I want to play a couple games." Well, if you play in this esports center, you can also get yourself a little extra experience for your account, as well as play all of the heroes. So if you're missing that illustrious Murky that you've always wanted to play, well, there's your chance to be able to do so. So make sure you hit !NXT in chat. And one more thing for you all at home. We've got Season 3 merch. We've got merch for our Season 3 of CCL. We're excited to be able to have more merch for you all at home. And you can use !merch to check out more of all of the awesome articles of clothing that you can get. There's some long sleeves. There's some really cool joggers. There's some pullover sweaters. There's some zip-up sweaters. There's some really cool stuff that I highly encourage you to check out over on the !merch. And we want to be clear with all of you at home, as always, that we are aware of the high cost of shipping to our international buyers. So if you are going to be trying to buy something and you are living overseas, we are going to be including a free CCL Season 3 mask. And in the future, we will be looking for other options to make sure that this cost is not going to be repeated for you all. So thank you all for being understanding. And if you are overseas and you do want to support HeroesCCL with some merch, you will be able to get that free face mask. But I've gone through all the details, Grubby and Justin. Let's get into these CCL rosters. We have got 2 awesome teams coming at you today. And Grubby, who's on that Oxygen side?
Yeah, Oxygen. We have Dreaded Heavy, Madara Uchiha, My Pal Vince, Nazmas, and Pirate Rum. Pirate Rum was just picked up. And we see a lot of returners here. And yeah, Red Robot being swapped out, though he was playing well. Maybe something going on that we didn't 100% know about, but no drama for sure. Just we're going to have My Pal Vince trying to fill those shoes, as you mentioned. And he joins a very well-oiled team of fantastic damage dealers in Nazmas and Traded, Madara Uchiha, and then Heavy on the healer looks super solid. Loved him on that healer role last week. I think we saw some good mouth coming out of him as well. So, very strong team. And they're up against Diamond Hands, who are also 1-1.
Yeah, Justin, who do we got on that Diamond Hands roster?
We've got Caesar Salad will be playing the tank role. Got Filth on the ranged, Kelsier playing the flex, and Tori playing off lane, and Valmar playing support. And of course, June playing the spectator. Coach, physician, probably. Not sure exactly what his dynamic is on the team, but
he's got a lot of good knowledge. He's got a lot of niche ideas and really cool ideas, but also I think there is a factor in a week or so, not like in the upcoming week, but in one of the group stage weeks of CCL, we could see June being utilized, whether it is for the sub or for the availability of his triple Vikings on Battlefield of Eternity sort of deal. So it is really exciting, but we have all this excitement. We're ready to go. We've talked about rosters. Let's talk about where we're going to head to for map number 1 in our first best of 5 of the day. It's going to be Diamond Hands choosing to take us to Dragonshire. But if you're wondering how we got to this Dragonshire choice, Oxygen opted for first pick priority, banning out Sky Temple, and we will see Volskaya Foundry banned out by Diamond Hands. Getting ready for this Dragonshire map, Grubby, what is your excitement level when it comes to the draft? Are you excited about the solo lane or the core 4?
I think the solo lane will be very important. And what's interesting to note is that there are few teams that have loved the map as much as Diamond Hands has loved Dragonshire for several seasons already. Last season, when they had Uki on the solo lane, Dragonshire and Uki's draft lock-in for the solo lane was of the top highest priority. He would grab Hager really fast, and when not possible, it'd be Rexxar. Pretty much every time. And they won a lot on this map, or did very well when they didn't win. Still sticking with that Dragonshire draft, solo lane is of course of really big importance, but we can't forget about the healer. Brightwing and Stukov, of course, being the best healers in general right now. And on this map, Brightwing is a terror because you can never comfortably have an honorable one-on-one on that top shrine when she could pop in and help the other solo laner.
When I was looking at some stats before we were getting into the draft for all of this, we do have some decent information when it comes to the Diamond Hands draft style. They very much like grabbing the Phoenix for this map. It's been successful 2 times out of the 2 times they've grabbed it. But on the side of Oxygen, we have no information. We have never been here before with Oxygen justing, so curious to see or get your thoughts on what they could be building up for a draft.
So Junkrat wasn't banned, so that's a pretty important thing, especially on Dragonshire. I wouldn't be surprised to see Junkrat either first picked here or picked in the 1-2 for Diamond Hands. I think it's very brave of Diamond Hands to, although they had success in the past on this map against Simplicity, I think it's very brave to pick Dragonshire into Oxygen, because something that we noted when Diamond Hands locked in their draft is that it was reminiscent of an Oxygen strategy on this map. Oxygen, historically in seasons 1 and 2, had basically developed their own play style for this map that's very blow up heavy. It's very punishing for the enemy tank player. So it's going to be interesting to see. Typically what you do is, and they've already picked the Anub'arak, the Rexxar is something that they would often pair with it, but they don't necessarily need that. Typically they would follow up with a Monk and a Sylvanas with Mind Control and Sevens or something else like that can set up that one shot on the enemy front line. Playing against the Rexxar, I do like that they picked that because they're likely anticipating that, especially with Stukov and Brightwing being banned from Oxygen. The Monk with Sevens on this map is a pretty obvious choice for Oxygen, so I do actually like taking the Rexxar away because it both denies it from them and it adds a Misha dog there to tank the Sevens if they go that route. Okay, please ban Avatar on the side of Diamond Hands, or you will have zero fun this game. I'm really surprised that they picked the Samuro this early, but that's what the comp screams so far.
Oh, this is a nice introduction from my pal Vince. He gets to play with Nasmus Samuro. Oh, this map's already exploding with so many great heroes, as well as Rexxar for the solo lane. I feel like, Grubby, this is one of Rexxar's best maps. And there's that Abathur ban, as you both noted.
Yeah, and Samuro, if you go for Illusion Master at level 20, you can pretty much kiss goodbye to ever getting the Dragon Knight, unless you get a massive advantage in the 4-man. Samuro can single-handedly cap the Dragon Knight, at least the old iteration where the illusions lasted a little longer. I still think he can pretty much do that by himself. And if you go for the level 1 quest with the bonus baseline damage on mirror images, you can get that very easily on Misha. You can also have more shrine control than many other solo laners into Rexxar. And you're actually super safe if you don't play it greedily. So Samuro, if you're a master at him, and I think Nasmus is very good at him, it's a great pick for this map.
It's an exciting one. There's the Phoenix once again for the side of Diamond Hands, and there will be a Hogger as well. This is looking like a hyper carry Phoenix composition, Grubby.
Yeah, one that we've seen before. Phoenix is the only DPS, essentially. But Rexxar and Hogger deal damage as well. I'm surprised, though. Do you feel that Kelsey's Hogger has a better one-on-one chance against Samuro?
I think it's just sort of like a flexibility thing. They want to be able to have an offlane either play top or bottom. They don't necessarily. I'm assuming that Rexxar is not wanting to lane to the Samuro, so I think that's kind of what they're thinking as well. They've drafted the Rexxar early. They don't want to be stuck in a strategy where they're forced to get counterpicked in the matchup. And it's really interesting by Oxygen. It feels like they sort of split the two compositions that I was talking about. Initially, I was mentioning that they would likely pick up the Monk and the Sylvanas on the 2-3 there with the Anub'arak. They don't. They instead go with the Junkrat and the Samuro, which would lead you to think they're going to play an Abathur comp, but obviously it's going to get banned. And then they just go into the Monk Sylvanas anyways. It's really weird to me. I'm not sure quite how I feel about that. They sort of took both of their main strategies on the side of Oxygen with the Abba Samuro comp and the one shot with Monk and with 7-sided and Sylvanas mind control and kind of just smooshed the two comps together. It's really weird to me that they did that. But
it's kind of cool, right? Because you can be like, hey, you now need to ban Abba. That means we're guaranteed to get Karazim and Sylph.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Diamond Hands could have picked it away, right? They were
True.
They had the 3-4 pick. It's just really weird to me. I'm assuming that they didn't expect to get the Sylvanas and Monk. I'm thinking that's most likely what it is they were like, oh wow, this is still up. This shouldn't be up. Like free candy, kind of like yoink on the end of the draft.
Is it Uther nicer for Diamond Hands into what Oxygen would then be running? Because you got D-Shield Cleanse against Cocoon, Seven-Sided Blow Up, Traps and stuff, rather than Karazim, who endangers himself to try and save someone with what? Like Palm? You don't want to go Palm here, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really good into what Oxygen ended up drafting, and also it does counter that strategy. And picking 7s into Nazmaz on Samuro sounds really hard as well. But that being said, they do have the Misha on the other side to tank it. So both teams very aware of what the other side wants on this map. So I think both teams kind of got what they want. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
It's an exciting draft for both sides as we're just about loaded into Dragonshire here. And Justin, I don't know if do you have a predicted winner for the end of this Dragonshire map?
I have to give it to Oxygen. Diamond Hands has looked strong on this map, but Oxygen, well, I do feel like it's sort of a Frankenstein comp of their two main compositions that they run on the map. I think if they had gotten either one of those, I would have called a win. So I'm just going to trust that they know what they're doing by drafting half of both and sticking it into one comp. So I'll have to go with Oxygen here.
Alrighty, well, Justin, thank you for the breakdown. Thank you for the analysis, as always, and we will see you after map number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally here. We are into the game. Thank you for your patience, and I know you're all excited for HeroesCCL action, but we got Oxygen Esports in the blue. We've got Nazmus on Samuro, Madara to play Sylvanas, Draded on the Junkrat, Vince on the Anubrak, and Heavy on the Karazim. Over on the Diamond Hand side, we're looking at Gotfilth on the Phoenix. We'll have Hogger to be played by Nintori, Kelsier playing Rexar, Caesar Salad on Murden, Valimar on the Uther, and Misha, of course, to play Misha. Grubby, I'm leaning into Diamond Hands. I was actually thinking about this in the draft. I was like, I don't feel like that Rexar was actually for the solo lane. I think it was to be in this core 4 to rotate around, and I really like that utilization of the Misha for just a lot of CC, and that should be able to play off of the chain stuns you can get from Uther and Murden. But Grubby, I haven't heard from you in a little bit, and I want to get your thoughts as we have big dive on to Caesar's Salad. Tries to dwarf toss away, but as I said, Grubby, please.
Yeah, I actually like what Oxygen put together. It's a very classical composition. Anubrak, Karazim, Sylvanas, and then Junkrat holds bot, Samuro holds top. I feel like it's very reliable. I do like what Diamond Hands is doing. They are making bottom a solo lane as well. Hogger top, Rexar bottom, and he's going to try to hold against Junkrat. It makes a lot of sense because Misha doesn't care as much about walking into the guaranteed trap in the bush trap each time.
True.
Overall, though, I think Oxygen has a little bit clearer path to victory, though I'm a super fan of Uther's solo heal. I think it gets underplayed, and Phoenix is kind of gaining on you as well, I think. You haven't even disparaged it yet. So, look, yeah, Diamond Hands has a strong comp, too.
Wow, man, we're what, like 30 minutes into the broadcast, I already called out. But you are right, Grubby. I mean, at least the Diamond Hands Phoenix is a little bit more sold for me. It's this is the 4th time they've played it. They've won twice, lost once. We'll see if they can, get that 75% on their Phoenix test from the side of Diamond Hands. But I have been impressed very much with how Diamond Hands is playing this, and I do like the setup as you were mentioning with the 1-3-1 sort of deal. Valimar kind of able to just then rotate, or this core 3 able to rotate to one of the solos, top or bottom, and then make a play. As we're seeing this in top lane right now, Dwarf Toss out from Caesar Salad does have the block at level 1. And here is Nazmus in bottom lane putting pressure onto this Rexar. Misha got Way of the Blade at level 1. You also have that deflection at level 4 for a little extra physical armor.
Oh, that's nice. With Phoenix being the big DPS that he is there, so long as Samuro can get auto attacks in on an opponent, he's going to have 35 physical armor. Exactly the right thing in this particular game, because there isn't that much spell damage from Diamond Hands. Any block will be nice, and likewise Karazim will be helping with that as well. All in all, I think Oxygen has a really powerful team fight, and I think Diamond Hands is just like really tanky, but then Oxygen has the more damage, and let's see how those square up against one another.
I think 10 talent here is going to be very telling for the conversation that we're having as well. We've got a lot of good baseline abilities. We've got good scaling from both sides, but the big burst potential, the cocoon value from my pal Vince, who he's going to shut down, is going to be really exciting to see, because when we talk about a Nubrak with cocoon, typically you consider, oh, Li Ming Disintegrate is such a good counter. When we look at this on the side of Diamond Hands, Grubby, what is really the big way to burn through the Nubrak cocoon? There kind of isn't one.
Hog Wild, trying to like Hog Wild through it is decent. It has a lot of damage per second, but that's also an important tool for many other applications. So it's certainly, that's pretty much it, right? Like Murden, Uther. Did Uther go for the burning at level 4? No. Will Murden go for the burning at 13? That can help a bit.
Yeah.
Phoenix doesn't want to waste his auto attacks on it. Those are too important. So I agree, Cocoon is a really big issue for Diamond Hands. And you know who's the biggest target of all for it? It's Uther, of course. If you cocoon Uther, you pretty much win the fight. You get to burst someone down. And then it's up to like Murden and Misha to be the only targets. But even they are not entirely safe against that. As Anubarak does the engage, Cleanse comes out from Valamar. It's a bit of a counter attack there on Vince, but it's not enough to take him down. We're still at 0 deaths apiece. So Uther, Valamar, his position at level 10 plus is going to have to be crucial. Cannot be battle Uther, because if he is, there's first blood, but it's animal blood. He can't be battle Uther. If he's in position to get cocooned, that could be just the loss of any team fight for Diamond Hands.
Looking at also Diamond Hands, Caesar Salad trying to work his way out of this rotation and will not be able to.
Whoa.
Actually, no, the re-engage got filled, blinks forward on the Phoenix, but Heavy is going to start chunking into him. My pal Vince taking a lot of damage, and it seems like Caesar Salad wanted to give my pal Vince a nice warm welcome to CCL, trying to get that first blood into a Nubrak, but Vince a little too tanky, and these Beetles from the Nubrak are working out well. There's a blink forward from Got Filled onto Draded. Draded able to get behind the gate as my pal Vince has to burrow charge away, trying to disengage against this enemy team. And Grubby, I was talking with my chat quite a bit this past week about things we can do to improve CCL, and I think one of the things that we don't talk about a lot is some of these concepts. We talk about a lot of concepts, peeling, engage, disengage. I think we should be able to nail some of those down. So, for example, we should probably, define what these engage, disengages are. Like Murden with Dwarf Toss, he's going to use that as an engage and disengage tool because he's got that 75 physical armor. Same thing with my pal Vince on the Sanubrak with that burrow charge in. That engage potential with the burrow charge, allowing the rest of the team to then dive in, like Heavy, as you were saying, dives into this enemy side trying to burst someone down. A little bit of a fight in mid. But either way, just want to start hitting on some of these concepts because I feel like we talk about them, but we don't define them very often.
Yeah, so engaging is starting a fight, but what does it actually mean in terms of the separate components of it? Usually it means locking someone down so that you can hit someone without getting hit back. Like a Rainer doesn't like to walk into a Diablo or past a Diablo to hit the Sylvanas. As a fight breaks out, there's a mind control on Phoenix. They got the cocoon on the Uther. That's what happens when he stands in front. Phoenix can become a target, and it was perfect aim by Madara. Cocoon is, of course, point and click, but Mind Control is a skill shot. Very well played. Phoenix has a gigantic hitbox. Together with Azmodan and Kael'thas, some of the bigger ranged assassin hitboxes that there are, so they're easier to hit with skill shots. But engage usually means make someone stand still so that you can hit them for free without getting hit back. Rainer would love to walk past a Diablo that's stunned in order to hit a Li Ming that's stunned, but otherwise he's going to stay way back, sometimes get some hits in on Diablo because there's not an engage started. So it's lockdown and it's threat reduction. That's what happens when a Nubrak burrow charges in. That's really interesting in Storm League games, because if you burrow charge in at the wrong time or at the right time, but without your team being awake, a good engage that had all the components of a good engage that doesn't get followed up on will suddenly look like a bad engage and a Nubrak gets blown up. That's why teamwork is so important.
It's a very good way to define it as well, because we've all kind of been in that situation in whether it be Quick Match, Storm League, ARAMs, wherever. You, nice tool from Nasmus right there, utilization of the Hearth swap from the Samuro. But it's one of those things like you're like, oh, I can see it. I see the enemy team. They're all clumped up. There's 5 members grouped up together. They're clumped. I'm gonna get this huge burrow charge, impale, and then you're standing on an island alone, and you go, oh, everyone didn't jump on the ferry. I'm just here by myself, and okay, I've been deleted. Goodbye. So absolutely, it's just little things that I think we can get a little bit more definition in for some of our viewers. Because as always, I mean, there's viewers that are grandmasters and they know everything there is to know in Heroes of Storm.
So many.
And there's viewers that are also, you know, they come into Heroes of Storm, or their significant other forces them to watch Heroes of Storm on CCL weekends, and maybe they want to learn a little bit more about the game. So we should do our due diligence to educate the community as best we can. But this Dragonshire map, Grubby, it's looking really good for the side of Oxygen after that engagement through the mid lane into this Phoenix. And kind of seems like after that big engagement, Diamond Hands are a little more nervous stepping into these lanes, it feels. I say this as Murda invades the camp on the bottom left, but still.
Yeah, he's representing his team being behind it, even as 3 others are in the bottom lane right now getting the Bruiser camp. So there's a surprising amount of map pressure being able to be put out by Diamond Hands, even though I look at their team and I think, hey, Murda and Uther, they don't have much map pressure. Ogre, he can. Phoenix, he can. So can Rexar. But that's 3, and none of them are, not many of them are assassin class. Then you look at on the left side, all 5 are good pushers, essentially. So for Diamond Hands to be like calling the shots, having a Bruiser camp push top now, top half-life down, Bruiser camp bot, they're controlling it very, very well. Diamond Hands. They do show with 3 top, and you see the residual vision of Phoenix that he's going top. So it's 100% telegraphed. They try to jump in on Junkrat, but this is a big mistake. Caesar Salad called out in the wild. Avatar to try and survive 7-sided. I feel like this is a big mistake. You're showing on vision. You're showing you're going top, and then missing the bolt. That was a lethal mistake. They should know that Oxygen is going to come up here, and the fort was still alive just barely. A mistake by Diamond Hands that may cost them dearly.
I'm a little... I guess it's one of those, it was like the conversation we were talking about, Engage. I feel like Caesar Salad was way too far chasing into the engagement while the rest of the team wasn't there to chase in as well. They were just too far back on the side of Diamond Hands, a little lag behind as Misha does get the charge through a few enemy members, and this is going to be that level 4 for Rexar. Not completed just yet, but 2 regeneration globes away from getting that extra physical armor to allow Misha to be more tanky. Phoenix trying to go for the channel in mid, but he will not be able to since Samuro is holding that top lane. A lot's happening here on Dragonshire, Grubby, and I was thinking, do you want to jump into one of the team's comms to maybe listen in?
Yeah, let's go into Oxygen.
Oxygen we go.
Can't really lane bottom anymore too much.
Phoenix stuff.
That's fine. As long as
we
we're
can
running
invade this.
Yeah, they're all gonna be here.
Yeah,
This is a team fight.
Rexar's bottom.
We can help Vince.
They're on me, they're on me.
I have mind control still. Don't want to just rip it though.
I think we want to fight this. We do.
shot
They're on me, they're on me,
Maybe.
they're on me.
Phoenix. No E on
Give me
Phoenix.
the Meridian.
Okay, that's D-shield down, that's D-shield down. Just back up a tiny
So I need
bit. back.
HP.
heal.
Okay, I'm okay.
Healing
We
one.
can control the top corner. They get DK here.
We can run to bottom and stall. Run to bottom and play stalls.
I'll stay up there.
They
Okay.
probably just get this fort. It's fine though. I can stall once, but maybe I just go down to point. Can someone else stall?
They're on me.
Arm Ben's hard.
Ooh, okay, just try to leave. We can give DK.
I'm going on top point here.
I might have the cap.
Okay, I had to blink out. There's 2
Got
on
one
me.
stall.
I got bot.
Yeah, we got it.
I have
bottom.
one.
They're
They're
bot
bottom,
now though, so
yeah.
I think we just have to give it.
We might, yeah.
We can clear
About
it
to be
pretty well.
16.
You gonna kill this guy bottom?
No,
No,
I'm
he's
on the
not
way.
there.
Okay, let's back up a tiny bit and play clear. On the way mid. They're gonna be here 5. We probably need 5 too.
I'm here.
Okay, I have mind control. So he's getting a little chunked. Alright, they're going bot. We can just leave meter clear maybe.
I'll go. I'm pretty good too. I'll be with you.
Okay. I mean, Tori is just
I'm
standing
thinking
here.
bot wave right now.
Not
Getting
getting
kicked.
much.
Oh, nice cleanse. Yeah, we're killing the
I'm
DK
fine.
pretty fast now.
Yep.
Okay, back up it. They're coming. Oh,
They
nope.
might
Just
get
trying to
bot for it.
bottom. Okay,
Go,
you guys can
go
go
up
down. You
here.
guys can go down. Me and Nesmus will stay mid.
They're leaving.
Okay, cool. Alright, he's inting the last of the DK. He kicked oh, is there...
quite a bit happening. I was thinking that we are clear to leave comms, but immediately Karazim gets annihilated by this Hogger. There's Boars unleashed by the Rexar as well. Salvo from the Phoenix comes through, and oh my god is right, Grubby.
Well, the way that they blew up Karazim and the Nubarak, and the complete silence from Oxygen as it happened. A big that just happened moment. That's insane. From full life to nothing with Valamar's stuns, Rexar stuns, Murden stuns, and the damage coming in. That was sick. Just both perfectly deleted. And of course, Anubarak, he had the chance to burrow charge away, even as someone threw a wrench and hit the back of his head, and that toppled him, and he fainted, just like so many Pokemon before him. A great double kill, the very first two of Diamond Hands. They've got 3 forwards down already. The Dragonshire Diamond Hands supremacy is continuing once again, even though I've always viewed Oxygen as a very good team on Dragonshire as well.
We got a new brag back from Nurse Joy, and more camps to be grabbed on the side of Diamond Hands. And I think Diamond Hands, they're now the ones, Grubby, who are our Dragonshire masters. And maybe I'm caster cursing them right now, but we see Mypal Vince looking to invade into this camp. Misha will be able to scout this out. Good utilization of the bear from Kelsier, and Vince and crew cannot step in. There's already a camp through bottom lane that was just grabbed off that double kill and that little bit of siege from Diamond Hands. Our Shrine activates here in 25 seconds. This isn't going to be another quick Dragonite, though, Grubby, for the side of Diamond Hands. They're going to have to work for this one again. And I think it's just going to be waiting for level 20, finding a fight for Diamond Hands, then grabbing Dragonite and winning game. That seems like, at least if I was the Diamond Hand shot caller, my plan of attack coming up for this objective phase.
Yep, that's the goal. And think of this for a moment, if you will, chat, from the vision of Oxygen. Right now, think of yourself as Oxygen. You've got 3 to 4 players in the center. Anubarak scouting out bushes. They've got Bruiser Camp coming top. Samuro holding the bottom. They see Murden floating in the center, but they don't know where most of the others are. Phoenix is now showing on bottom lane, as is Uther and Karazim. Murden still hidden. So they look at the fear that Draded showed that bush. He doesn't 100% know where everybody is. So he walks back, started clearing the left side. As Anubarak caps top. Okay, level 20 has been reached by Diamond Hands. Now what is Oxygen going to do? They've got Karazim looking at Murden in the center of the map. 4 people kind of sequestered in the top left of the map. Do they dare to go through this triangle here in the center, through the mid lane? They do. Maybe they're hoping to pick someone off with superior odds. They see Murden capping top. Maybe they can just get a Misha kill. Okay, now Rexar's not quite as scary. Is 4v4.5? Is 5v4.5 good enough for a 1920 fight? Oxygen is thinking about that very question. But they're playing a great game of cat and mouse. Murden is now ready to try and stop the mouse from going down the hole that they've been escaping via. He's saying this pass is taken.
Samuro down in bottom lane is going to be fighting against Hogger, but Madara has snuck down here as well and is looking to put some pressure. That is going to be Nintori utilizing the spin out, and Murden and friends have done such a great job of zoning back the enemy team. When we talk about the concept of turtling, this on the minimap is a great example of turtling. You can see so many members of Oxygen, they're not stepping far out into the lanes. They want that retreat path. They want a safe place to go if the fight breaks out, since they don't have the 20 talent on this blue side. So the turtle concept, as we talk about a lot, is playing safe within your range of the shell. You can, pop back into your shell, which is within these keep ranges. That's why we call it turtling, because it's just you pop your head out. I don't like how it looks. You pop your head back in and you play around your keep safe range. But here's that 20. Here's that Dragonite. But the 20s on the side of Oxygen are here for this blue side. Can they actually save this core push? Because bottom lane keep goes down. This Dragonite, Grubby, hitting for 765 damage.
Another Dwarf toss in with Stormbolt. Cleanse was forced to be used to stop the 7-sided blow up, together with the core synergy as well. If that stun, Caesar Salad drops low. Madara's damage coming in hot and hard. Shockwave kind of missing. We see a Cocoon coming in here. We've got a big Photon overcharge from Phoenix coming in. People are taking damage. No one has gone down yet. Madara's low, but he's inside of his own base. There comes another Riptire that stops Murden mid-jump. He hit 2 targets, so Junkrat gets a 25-second cooldown. As the dust settles, we look at everything and we see that the keep has gone down. No players have, no additional damage in other lanes. And we're in a very harrowing Oxygen 2 keep versus 6 forward situation with no information. All 3 lanes pushed. It's all the tools in the hand of Diamond Hands.
but it's not over by any means. That was Oxygen defending as they got level 20s. We didn't even take stock of these level 20s. You have the 3-blade style from the Samuro. You've also got the Dark Lady's Call with that 15-second cooldown on Mind Control. As Grubby had mentioned, extra oomph for this Junkrat. For every enemy hero he hits with the Riptire Explosion, 25 seconds off of the 75-second cooldown. So the game plan typically is hit 3 enemy heroes and get the Gatling gun of Riptires out. A Nubrak, Rewind pretty standard, and Epiphany for this Karazim. Little extra sustainability for him, but I think that this could be what Oxygen needed to really start to rally in this map. Because this has to be the time when Oxygen makes a play. Otherwise, Diamond Hands, I feel like they just slow bleed Oxygen out.
Well, on the good side for Oxygen, they just got about 500 damage with Samuro Clone on the mid fort.
Nice. Nice, very good. Take what you can get.
Exactly. You know, a fight for bottom bruiser seems like the very best thing that could happen for Oxygen. I would like to take them I would like them to take it aggressively. They're chasing Phoenix. Samuro actually did a lot of damage on him. Keep in mind, Phoenix still has unconquered spirits, but I feel like this has to be a fight. Cocoon on Uther. Let's do it. Where's the Cocoon?
Mind Control will come out. There's a salvo from Got Filth as well. We have Muradin on the back line trying to get some damage here. 7-sided strike. Karazim gets hit with the Stormbolt just out of the 7-sided strike. Caesar Salad with just the 200 IQ read. Uther will fall, but you can see that golden swirl around his head. His redemption level 20 is off cooldown, so he will respawn. That is the animation to signify that he does have that cooldown off that ability off a cooldown. Excuse me. I'm so excited about the fight that we just saw. And Karazim dead for 40 or so seconds. Will Oxygen step back into this bruiser camp or this siege camp? It seems risky.
Very well played by Sam to kill Uther once. If he can do that again, and he's looking at it with that copy. Let's see if he's actually going to port on that copy. So far he's chasing Hugger. Hugger pushes him back into Dynamite. Is there going to be a Dragonite capture? 90%. Yup. There we go. Another Dragonite goes to Diamond Hands. Still got Karazim killed. He was CC'd out of 7-sided strike. I love how Diamond Hands crowded together in the 7-sided that was meant for Muradin. As a D-Shield and an Unconquered Spirit comes out on Phoenix. He does the counterattack right before Karazim is back. Oxygen tries to make their stand. They know this is such a threatening Dragonite. If they let it get to core, even in a 5v5, it was their professional judgment that they needed to try and set a trap as Diamond Hands would filter through the bush one by one. They lost chance before Karazim came back. Right decision, wrong decision. It was a decision. They tried it. It didn't pan out. But props to them for trying. Diamond Hands now will be finishing this off. There's no way back for Oxygen. GG. First map victory to Diamond Hands.
Diamond Hands with a really strong start. We got just, gains for Diamond Hands, gains and gains for Diamond Hands. They really, really played that map well. And it's so far, they're 3-0 for Dragonshire. Definitely going to be our Dragonshire aficionados, if you will, when it comes to this map. Now, I want to let everyone know we are going to go ahead and restart the stream right now. We're going to take a little bit of a break, restart the stream, and we need to get some production stuff just squared away. So we are going to be right back with our broadcast. Don't go anywhere. We got HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom coming right back at you right after we do a small little reset. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot of great action coming right at you. Welcome back into CCL, ladies and gentlemen. HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom is right back here. No issues whatsoever. Sombra didn't hack the mainframe by any means. Maybe that's the hint. Maybe we're gonna get a new hero. It's new hero. It's Sombra. We get something. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, welcome back to CCL, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you seriously for being so patient. We very much apologize about the technical difficulties. We just want to make sure that we run the most smooth show that we possibly can for you all, instead of trying to fix things on the fly during the show. So thank you everyone for sticking around, for hanging out. We are back. We are going to get back into this best of 5 series. We have already seen Diamond Hands beat Oxygen Esports on Dragonshire 3 times. Diamond Hands on this Dragonshire map, Justin, they seem unbeatable.
Yeah, they're really scary, and that last game really showcased it. I guess you just have to ban Dragonshire as another team against Diamond Hands in this map. They just seem way too good at it. I really had expected Oxygen to look a lot stronger than they did. Something that I noticed is that when we went into the Oxygen comms, it seemed like Madara was really in charge of a lot of the shot calling for the team. But as is being highlighted here, this play was basically the peak of the game for Oxygen, unfortunately. It felt like when we went into comms, Madara is doing a lot of sort of micromanaging of the players, but that doesn't really cater to the style of Dragonshire. Dragonshire is a lot more about having 5 individual cogs that are all kind of doing a very independent thing from each other, and it all has to kind of just flow together. You can't be you can't just have one person sort of deciding where everyone goes in a macro sense. Everyone needs to be very, very aware of what their job is and how to play the map. And it feels like so far, Diamond Hands just has a much better grasp of that. They play a lot better independently, and then when they came together, they were winning the team fights 5v5 as well. So just props to Diamond Hands. And Oxygen's team composition, I did say it seemed a bit disjointed, a little bit of a Frankenstein, and it turned out that their play on Dragonshire was kind of the same.
Well, it's just, Diamond Hands giving the warm welcome to my pal Vince for HeroesCCL, as my pal Vince was picked up for the Oxygen roster as that main tank. We've seen what happened on Dragonshire. Let's find out where we're going to be heading into next for our second map in our first best of 5 of the day. It's going to be another map choice by Diamond Hands, and it's going to be Battlefield of Eternity. Quickly, to catch anyone up on how we got here, the first map, there was the first pick chosen by Oxygen. Oxygen ban out Sky Temple. Diamond Hands ban out Sky Foundry. Diamond Hands chose to take us to Dragonshire and dominated there, in my opinion. And now we see another first pick option for Oxygen as they are the losing team. So Diamond Hands has chosen to take us to Battlefield of Eternity. And I like this map a lot, Grubby. I think this plays into Diamond Hands very well because their team fighting, as shown in game number 1, was extremely strong.
Well, it is interesting because Diamond Hands won their game on Battlefield of Eternity against Granite Gaming, and then they played against Simplicity, and they won that one as well. Diamond Hands going 2-3 against Simplicity, winning both of their Battlefield games. So they're obviously feeling good here. But on the flip side, Oxygen also won both Battlefield of Eternity games, including in the 1-3 best of 5 defeat against 30K. The one map that they did win was Battlefield of Eternity. So we've got 2 teams that are both 2-0 on BOE.
It's a great map as well, and Justin and I highlighted from last week, there was that mortal combo from Red Robot's Garrosh to be able to really set up the victory through that Battlefield of Eternity map, and we'll see if my pal Vince can copy or at least, make the same plays for this Oxygen roster, or will Diamond Hands be the dominant force here, Justin?
It's going to be tough to call before we see the draft. I think that Diamond Hands from game 1 does have a bit of momentum, but we did see previously in their week 1 how they got reverse swept by Simplicity. That might not necessarily carry over through the rest of the series, so I'm not all in on Diamond Hands just quite yet, but it is really good to see them kind of come out the gates swinging like they did on the first map on Dragonshire. And like Grubby had mentioned, both these teams 2-0 on Battlefield of Eternity. That can only continue for one team, right? So
right.
There's a decent amount at stake here for both of these teams, and both teams very good at the map with their 2-0 records. So just like Dragonshire, both teams were good, but I thought that Oxygen would perform better. I was proven wrong by Diamond Hands, so we'll see if I'm able to be proven wrong here again on BOE.
Yeah, my investment's looking heavily towards Diamond Hands, but we'll see what the drafts do look like. We got a couple bans already coming out in Hogger and Vala. No Stukov for Junkrat priorities just yet, Grubby. Maybe we see those or something else?
Yeah, you can always let both go through. One of the teams gets to decide whether they want both to be banned. That's the decision now for Oxygen. If they ban Stukov now, then Brightwing will probably be banned by Diamond Hands. But if they let both go through, then both get to pick those heroes. So we'll see. Oxygen ran a really interesting... wow, Phoenix ban!
Wow!
Maybe the first one of the league, or the second. I think it's the first or second.
I think so.
Oxygen ran a really funny triple global composition that we had initially trouble understanding on such a small map, going with the Dahaka, Brightwing, and Falstad.
Mm-hmm.
Oxygen's drafts are looking weird to me so far in this series. Like I mentioned in the previous game, how it felt like they had 2 halves of different comps that I know them to play, and that they sort of just pushed them together, and they picked the really early prioritization on Samuro, but didn't seem to have a real strategy prepared for that. Now with the Phoenix band on BOE, I think that Diamond Hands is primarily going to be playing Phoenix almost exclusively on Dragonshire. I believe they did play it on Cursed Hollow in one game.
Yes.
But aside from that, it seems like it's mostly just a Dragon Shower thing. So to see that first banned on Battlefield of Eternity, I'm assuming that in their draft strategy, that's kind of what they would consider a throwaway ban because they're first pick. So that's a sort of a strategy you can do if you are the first pick team and you think that there's a certain number of overpowered picks. You can kind of just, it's in your best interest to ban essentially nothing. So I'm going to guess that that's what that is. It's just their throwaway ban. And now I'm hoping that they take either Brightwing or Stukov.
Yeah.
Stukov would probably be preferred.
Well, it's also, Heavy has a huge history on Stukov and is a really, really strong Stukov player, and that's why I'm sitting here a little confused why even Diamond Hands let the Stukov through. It seems like, I guess they're not afraid of Heavy's potential. I feel like, as I said before, he's such a notable Stukov player and has carried a lot of games in the past on this support, so I feel like Oxygen is just getting everything they want in this draft so far, Grubby.
Yeah, it does look like that. And they did not prioritize the healer. They did go with their Lunara, who with the Sentinel Wisp has so much map vision and therefore map control, as you know what's going on in that center of the map. The Haka, that global that they like here, very safe solo laner, a lot of XP pushing. You can still join practically anywhere where there's a battle on the map, he can join because there's so many bushes. You compare that to Volskaya Foundry, there's no bushes almost anywhere where you're having a fight, and it makes it really predictable where you're going to be coming from. Here, not so much. Then we've got the double lethal ranged combo from Diamond Hands, a fantastic combination, putting their support priority all the way to the back and saying, hey, we got poke for days, and we've got an extremely chunky front line in Blaze and the Nubarak. I love what Diamond Hands is putting together. It feels almost illegal what they got in terms of how they can poke down the Immortal without even going close.
It's also, I feel like this is also a little bit of a flex from the side of Diamond Hands, Justing, saying, we can take whatever healer we want, and we're just going to put that in the last slot. Oh, with a Mephisto popping up here. That's interesting for Oxygen.
Yeah,
to an Nubarak.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird to see the Mephisto come out on Battlefield of Eternity. It's not really the map that you expect to see it on, but I do like it. Oxygen did completely smash us when I was playing on Wildheart on this map with Mephisto, I do recall. So I trust that they can play it. Diamond Hands did take Li Ming and Hanzo on the 3-4 there, which I think was a pretty good move because they didn't ban one of them. So I thought that was a little bit strange to ban the Diablo and leave both of them up. Had they traded those, I would say that Oxygen would have 100% won the draft because hitting Lunara, Dahaka, and Stukov is just really, really strong. But since they picked both, I do like the pivot coming out from Diamond Hands. I think that they mostly salvaged the draft that would have otherwise I would say otherwise would have gone heavily in favor of Oxygen had they not taken both the Li Ming and the Hanzo to deny that poke. So I would say the drafts are relatively even. It's a little bit easier to play the game, I'd say, for the side of Diamond Hands, just because they do have both of those poke heroes on Battlefield of Eternity. And also Valimar on Lucio, he played it last weekend on this map as well, and that is just a sight to behold. I've said praise for him before that I think he might be the best support in the league, and Lucio is a hero where he's really enabled to shine, and you can really see that. So I'm hoping to see Valimar pop off this game on Lucio.
Valimar actually, going back to the clips that you and I went through, adjusting, Valimar in that clip actually interrupted a mosh pit from ETC, had such good movement, speed adjustments, and push-offs as well to set up Diamond Hands for a victory. I believe that was up against Granite Gaming, and it just really, really excited to see how Diamond Hands will be playing this. I think Oxygen, they do have a strong draft, but as Grubby had kind of said, Mephisto into a Nubarak, I feel like a Nubarak can really punish the Mephisto, especially with the cocoon, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that cocoon on the Shade of Mephisto keeps him at the point where you hit him with the cocoon. He doesn't go back to his origin point. So either way, Justin, thank you for your analysis, your breakdown. We're going to see you after Battlefield of Eternity because, ladies and gentlemen, we have loaded on into our second map of this best of 5 series, and on the left-hand side, we are looking at Oxygen, looking to start their momentum and bring things back and potentially put one up on the board. We got Heavy on the Stukov, Draded on the Lunara, Nasmus playing Dahaka, Mater on the Mephisto, and Vince on this Muradin. On the side of Diamond Hands, looking to continue their dominance through Battlefield of Eternity. Mentori on the Blaze, got Filth on the Li Ming, Kelsier to play the Hanzo, Valimar on Lucio, and Caesar Salad on the Anubrak. Grubby, I'm invested into Diamond Hands. I think the portfolio looks good. I think the gains are going to be positive. What do you think about the market of Diamond Hands or even the potential of Oxygen for this map 2?
Well, results of the past, not a guarantee for the future. They're 1-0, but both teams have proven to be winning stocks. We don't know who's going to come out ahead and make the greatest gains in this game just yet. As we have a 2-3 split for both teams. Bit of aggressive play from both Vince and Caesar Salad. Caesar Salad trying to get saved here by Valimar. 161 life, and there is the next Carapace. Godfield missing a very important shot that, in theory, I think could have ended Muradin. But man, Nubarak getting a lot of threat there, missing the Burrow Charge engage. Really, Liming Hanzo not the most lethal. Liming Hanzo Lucio at this level, so that was risky. But Diamond Hands didn't get punished. Oxygen missed the kill by very little.
I think that perfectly goes back to what you and I had talked about in game one about in-gauge potential. And right there, I think we just saw both dualities. We saw the in-gauge kind of flop for the Anubrak, but then you saw Muradin dwarf tossing in and trying to set up the chain CC or the burst damage potential into that Lucio with the Stormbolt. So it's just trying to continue on these concepts that we're putting out there to the CCL audience and being able to at least show examples of these really, really cool moments. While we do have Caesar Sal in the top lane, grabbing this camp with Blaze, and in bottom, Vince is going to be working on the Impalers for that lane as well. So split camps for both teams. Kelsier continuing to try and build up these level 1 scatter arrow stacks and hold this bottom lane, but 0 stacks on the scatter arrows so far. And funny enough, Grubby, I guess not even really funny, but just oddly enough it feels, that's our only questing talent. We don't have any new habits from the Blaze.
Yeah, true. Not going for the Unstoppable. Instead, he's got the Adrenaline, stim back, more race damage, as Nazmas takes a lot of damage, just out of range of the magic missiles. Yeah, going with that Adrenaline stim pack. Quicker clear on Impaler cams, bruisers if there's ever going to be any. Quicker wave clear, so he kind of wants to match the Dahaka there, and gives up a very important Unstoppable. This could be a very fateful decision later on, because, God, Unstoppable into Stukov, Lunara Slow, Dahaka, Drag, Durance of Hatred, Stormbolt, certainly there's enough reason for it, but he has all of his faith in Bunker and in Lucio from Valimar. Essentially, Bunker's infinite cleanses, there's High Five, so he's going to put his faith in that, with Vince trying to hit some Dwarf Toss Bolt combos. You know, when I play Muradin, I never really feel the confidence to Dwarf Toss and Bolt max range, because you go so far ahead. But I love it when people do that, when they get those bolts. It's the most unpredictable way to get engaged upon by Muradin when they get that distance engage.
I do like playing the the heavy impact at level 7 on my Muradins, because you can actually utilize that dwarf toss. I also take block at level 1, so you jump in, you got the block stacks, you got your sledgehammer at 4, as I usually take, and then you have the slow for that 80%. And if you can land that slow, then the Stormbolt, the CC train is huge. And speaking of a CC train, the crowd control is into Muradin. He falls Madara around a couple hundred HP, as this is Valimar stepping in. There was a agility over the wall from Kelsier. No kill into the Mephisto, but first blood will be in the hands of Diamond Hands, and the first 50% of this Immortal race should go over to our red team as well, as Nazmus is going to get a couple of those scatter arrows into the face.
Yeah, it was a really solid CC chain by Diamond Hands, but it was Valimar that skated past the Muradin and did the interrupt on the Dwarf Toss. This is a very fine timing to hit, and Valimar honestly has been playing great. He was picked off far less as Uther than Karazim on the other side of Oxygen. So I feel like Valimar has been the support of the match so far. Oh, yeah. Definitely keep your eyes on him and his movement. A good Lucio player doesn't just have full control of his own skill set and tools, but is intimately aware of all of the abilities and cooldowns and escape mechanics of the enemy heroes. In that way, I feel like Lucios kind of need to be like Abathur in that they know how to play every hero, Abathur with the Ultimate Evolution possibilities, just to interrupt all of their abilities.
The one thing that I always find the hardest, at least when I play Lucio, is being able to kind of mid-max or swap between your speed and your healing, and understanding when you need to speed someone up and when you need to heal someone. There's such a technical aspect to that, as this Immortal push does come through the top lane. Belith is chunking into structures for 1,092 damage. Baseline, it's 546, but the big thing is just how much damage Belith does supply to the side of Diamond Hands, and with Li Ming throwing in an Arcane Orb here and there, this fort in the top lane will fall to about 30-ish or so percent, and Diamond Hands back away with another gain to their side. Valimar with a little bit of wall riding and poking into the enemy team, but won't step too far out of the Diamond Hands range.
Yeah, exactly. Some Lucios in Storm League, they'll try to stop all 4 of those members, maybe 5, from going downstairs and just be like on the enemy side of the map, the blue side, and interrupting people from rotating. Valamar knows a Dwarf Toss, a Stuk of Silence, a Stormbolt can still end him. So he's not doing that crazy thing, the vroom vroom Monka steer that can get you killed. So he plays it safe. Look, now you see him kind of scouting on the front line, but again, not crazy, not greeding for some kind of meaningless damage.
I do like that Valamar is also playing off the sidewall consistently, looking for those push-offs for the slow potential. Kelsier continuing to use the angle of these sidewalls to get some poke and build up those level 1 questing talent. We do in the bottom lane have a fight over the Impaler camp while this top lane is going to kind of expire, and it seems like Notori has won out the camp. Great burrow from Nasmus to avoid the charge damage. And the one thing we didn't talk about with this level 1 Adrenaline Stim Pack is the passive value as well. Oh, Valamar? Something happened? Oh, no.
He was trying to rotate. The passive value of Blaze?
Yes, you have while over 80% of your health, you actually gain 25 bonus attack speed and 10% bonus movement speed. So it's something that you had noted in the 1v1 versus Nasmus. This Blaze, so long as he's above that 80%, really has a big advantage in the 1v1 versus Dahaka. And Dahaka went into the Symbiosis build, or at least Enduring Swarm at level 1 for the spell armor, and then Symbiosis at 7 for the cooldown reduction. But 7 and 4 pair well together with that Hero Stalker, where the Dark Swarm hitting enemy heroes does give you essence. So Nasmus, that PvP build with a little more sustainability, we'll see if that works out for him. But here come the 10 talent tiers, Grubby, and this could be what shifts the game quite drastically for either side.
High five, Cocoon. We've got Bunker, Hanzo, Arrow, and Wave of Force. Pretty much the standard choices here. We're going to see if Kelsier can hit some really big Hanzo arrows. There's a big scatter. Starting the race, this should be an easy victory for Diamond Hands here. Vince just kind of scouting out, creating some space. He doesn't have the audacity to go disrupt people at their own blue Immortal. Vince knew that it was too little too late. A 45% shield Immortal will be marching down the lanes for Diamond Hands in the south side.
Do you want to get into Diamond Hands comm here, how they push?
Perfect time. We haven't heard from them yet. Let's see how they're getting on.
In we go.
Bottom tap first.
I'm watching him.
Yeah, I like the tap.
He could be digging now.
Yeah. I mean, just play like in the middle.
Oh, I'm ISO'd. I'm ISO'd. Are they
You're
up?
good.
Okay.
No.
I'll try to knock Vincent up, but stun. I knock him in. Oh.
No W on Sukov. I want to look a little bit here.
I think we focus 4, go top 4. I think we go top 4 now.
Yeah, I don't know if we should, but we're gonna get dug
Yeah,
behind.
let's just go. Let's just get all 4.
That's fine. Yeah, we can maybe kill the
I'm
Haka.
gonna look for Wiz.
Oh, yeah.
I got Wiz.
He sees us. I'm just diving this. We have Beatles.
They're coming with
Yeah.
all the gamers right now.
That's okay.
We can bunker this fort.
Yeah.
I think just take it. I stun.
I
Just
can't.
gonna bunker
Finish the
myself.
forward. Finish the
Yeah,
forward.
just finish fort. Finish fort.
It's gone. Back out. There's that counter gate.
Oh, high five
probably
down. I
dead.
can't do it.
Hi, Arrow.
just do it.
Alright, just get out.
Wait, maybe I kill Vince.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably want to rip this before they can take it.
They're not gonna try to take it, right? But
I could.
yeah.
Move 20.
Liked the macro decision to be able to rotate up and find the double fort. A little too long in that top lane, though, and I think you even hear that as we were getting out of the comms about the little bit of an overextension or watch the re-engage.
Yeah, exactly. Going down there as a Nubarak. The key was that Vince hit a really nice double Stormbolt, which prevented Lucio from using the high five on a Nubarak to try and save him. So yeah, we did have Caesar Salad going down there. Coincidentally, that was the first kill that Oxygen got this game. Diamond Hands still looking good. They're up 2 forts.
Map is looking similar to our first Dragonshire map, Nasmus to Hearth out, and go ahead and get full mana. Looking really quickly, Nasmus does have the brush stock available, but he's just going to meander his way into lane as the camp is being pushed up by Blaze. And here comes our third Immortal phase of the game, Grubby. 10 talent tiers are online for both. 13's not far off. Caesar Salad going to be zoned back by Vince. Actually, are they going to invade onto this camp? Durance of Fate will come out, but a new wreck. Wow, the read from Caesar Salad. Really well played right there. Lays a little oil slick over the wall, but no invade onto the camp, no steal. There is a window where there's a 13 talent tier advantage, but it doesn't seem like Diamond Hands will try and utilize this, or at least, actually, let me rephrase that. Oxygen isn't even giving the opportunity for Diamond Hands to step in.
Yeah, Diamond Hands is getting some damage on the Immortal. The Bruiser camp invade, usually not fruitful for the attacker. Kelsier taking a lot of damage here from Dreaded.
Good zoning.
Does he have a tap? No, he doesn't. He's coming right back into the fight. The Haka drag?
Oh, Valimar with the sound wave. I don't know if that interrupted, or not interrupted, but just pushed Dahaka back to misangle the drag, or either way. Still, good read from Valimar. Good reaction time as well. Nazma sitting in the bush, looking for a target as the Sonic Arrow will scout out. There's a jet propulsion from Blaze. Little oil slick, but here comes the Durance of Hate. Bunker was available, but he couldn't press the button from the lurking arm on the ground. We have a cocoon onto Lunara. Hanzo ripped an arrow, but I don't see any sort of counter pressure really being achieved on the side of Diamond Hands. Is this the momentum Oxygen needed to be able to start building some pressure into the Diamond Hands roster? It could be, Grubby.
I think it very well could be. They're going for Nubarak here. Is there Stormbolt and him? No, Vince misses the Stormbolt. The Nubarak therefore probably gets away as Godfield is harassing the side there, the flank. And Godfield has been in that bottom lane. What Oxygen did really well is they recognized that Godfield actually went to clear bottom lane. So we had Diamond Hands trying to greedily defend 4v5. And it was Blaze that paid the price for that with a great lurking arm combination by Oxygen, netting them their second kill in the game. It looked like Diamond Hands was in a good spot. They had lanes pressured on both sides, but they greeded out sending Li Ming as well, Godfield. And that 4v5 just went against them. With Wave of Force, she could have interrupted the lurking arm, but she wasn't there. And Lucio has been double stormbolted sometimes. The tank and him, that's very dangerous for him to be behind the tank in such a fashion. Vince has been doing a great job lining up his piercing bolts.
I have a tech question for you really quickly, Grubby. When it comes to Lurking Arm and the high five interaction, if Lucio is speeding through the Lurking Arm, does that cancel out the high five target at the end?
Yep, and it puts it on a full cooldown.
Because that's what I was wondering. I saw Valimar kind of go for the high five, but he was through the Lurking Arm and he just kind of stopped and stood still. So that tech is what happened. Really good read from Hebi. And this is what I was saying about Hebi in the draft. He's such a phenomenal Stukov player, and this might actually be... Oh, wait, hold on. There's a cocoon on to Hebi. My pal Vince trying to burn through this. Draded helping out as well, but no play after the... Whoa! Got filled. Why are you over there, bud? There's a huge arrow from this Hanzo, and a Nubrak goes in for the burrow charge, but it's still going to be Li Ming falling. Madara throws back the Durance of Hate and a Skull Missile, but can't find any sort of extra kill. And Madara lives here. Scatter arrows from Hanzo to attempt something. Oh my god, Li Ming, I don't know why she was over there, but almost got that counterplay into Lunara.
Dude, I love it though. Lunara was like 35% health.
Yup.
Godfield hiding from the bush. Did a full combo. I think maybe one or two missiles missed, but he got the Wave of Force, the Orb, the Calamity. It was a really cool move. Had he got the kill, he would have been able to Illusionist right back to safety, but he was just short of the mark. He tried to salvage it, Godfield, and kill Lunara after all, but not quite. And though he was the sacrificial lamb in that, for it not having worked out, Hanzo, Kelsier capitalized and hit a pretty big arrow. And then, well, things were gonna go down. Expletives running through my mind to describe it, but nobody died. It was really interesting fight there.
Vince was in a precarious position as he was trying to get into the backline. Didn't work out. Now Caesar Salad's the one in an awkward spot. Does throw the cocoon onto Lunara to mitigate some of that damage or burst ability. And, you know, Grubby, we got a little bit of a lull moment right now, and I think that was a good example. Could you break down for us all at home healing as a main tank? Because I feel like Vince was trying to do that.
Well, let's see if this is going to go down without a skerfuffle. There's a big Durance of Hate getting a hit there, but Blaze goes in the bunker. There's a big combo from Godfield. Lucio goes down.
Lucio will fall. Vince's has the avatar form. There's a Nintori gets just a huge shield at the last second, but the Thornwood Vines will come through. Hebi with like 80 HP is able to spread the healing pathogen around. And honestly, Grubby, I shouldn't have invested into Diamond Hands with Hebi on this Stukov.
Dude, Madara is kind of kicking behind as well. We're looking at the hero damage here. He's at 29,000 hero damage. That's the highest on his teams. We have 29,000 from Hanzo, 35 from Godfield on the Li Ming. But that was, I think, a lot of the damage in that game, the relevant damage, came in right there from Madara as he was just hurting everyone at the same time. Some great angling on that. Let's look at a replay of that recent fight now. We can break down what happened once again.
Oh, Grubby, I'd love for you to break this down for us.
Okay, look at this. We have Valimar there in front. Nintori is going to try to create space. He then gets comboed. He's able to use Bunker. Then we've got the drag there on Lucio. He gets taken out. Godfield's trying what he can from the side. He gets big hits in, but it's Muradin. The block by Dahaka. Nazmaz, of course, to stop Blaze from using jet propulsion to get away, and nobody even able to look at Madara. There's too many bodies for Godfield to choose and pick who he wants to attack. And that is working to Oxygen's favor. They get a lot of kills there. Now, 50-50 pretty much on the Immortal with defensive positions. This should be in favor of Diamond Hands normally, because they have such good poke.
Yeah, they have Blaze pushing out bottom, Dahaka is matching in top lane, so it's 4v4, but as you mentioned, the poke is online for Diamond Hands through the Li Ming, through the Hanzo that did finish his level 1 questing talent, as well as Hanzo picking up the piercing arrow, but here's a dwarf toss in from Muradin. He has that dwarf launch to really get in the backline, tried to do so. Vince gets annihilated! There's a high five from Lucio to get Kelsier out of a sticky situation. Cocoon does connect on Anasmus as Li Ming got Filth, is able to get another combo in, has that mirror ball from level 16, gotta be cautious of all those magic missiles and the burst ability, but another engage, an arrow is going to connect onto Mephisto's origin point. I don't know if it was perfectly read or if it was just a happy accident, but still, the members of Diamond Hands are the ones who are making the big plays, unless Drady can step up and get some really good Noxious Blossom value.
Yeah, Lunara is kind of shooting with impunity here, and the tanks weren't happy about that. They were not happy about it. They were like, hey, you don't get to pressure all 5 of us at the same time. And she's like, why not? Haha. As the tanks jump in and get punished right back. Ultra Lunara bait traded with the outplay, and the great saves from Heavy as well, of course. They get another kill. As it's not all bad, though, for Diamond Hands. The space that was created by the front line has secured and finished off the Immortal. And in the meantime, Diamond Hands gets another Immortal. They're up a fort, down a little bit in level, down in kills, but this objective could be the turnaround point for them.
Here is Belith once again in the bottom lane. 862 standard damage, 1,724 structural damage, and the shielding, is falling quite quickly. Doesn't seem like the members of Diamond Hands can make a play, but there's a brush stroke in from Dahaka. Nasmus, okay, he can't find an angle on anyone, and this Immortal is going to find, well, some of the keep front gate. 1 to 2 slaps on the keep in this top lane, and Oxygen, they're really, really controlling the latter half of this game. It still is. It's 7-2 in kills, Grubby, with 20 talent here leading in for Oxygen.
Yeah, and but once level 20 is reached, it doesn't matter anymore. Only structures do. So the question is, can Oxygen use the level 20 advantage to get that fort and equalize in that manner at least?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe they can. They should like to, but they have to clear the Khazra camp first and the wave. Well, they don't have to. They're sending Draded Lunara to do so. That means that there's a fair sense of safety for Diamond Hands to step up here, despite the imminent level 20. Are they going to fight without Lunara? 4v5, start it, and then wait for her to come in. That would be the way to get a 20 fight. To show Lunara and then engage, I think it's the only way, because the moment Lunara leaves lane, Diamond Hands is like, all right, we're going to go back. However, Oxygen doesn't dare to do the 4v5. Now Lunara's leaving lane, you see Diamond Hands leaving. I would have loved for Oxygen to start a fight, just like in Fight Club. Go out there, start a fight with a stranger, and make sure you lose it. And Oxygen should have sold that story, and then suddenly bring in their friends. Bring in Lunara, and have this extended fight go their way. Not without risk, but the only way you can force a 20. And now, are they even going to get a fort? Or is this level advantage just gonna seep away like dishwater in a sink?
I think it's very much just going to be cleaned up, much like that dishwater. I mean, you got to keep your sink clean, obviously. You don't want to just have dirty old dishwater in there. How are you going to put, well, you don't want, anyways.
How are you going to wash the vegetables in it in your mobile drain afterwards? If there's still dishwater there, you got to take care of that. Now there's a fight. Oh, isolation misses. Nasmas, bit short of the mark, as Oxygen will mount an aggressive defense of this Immortal with Lunara and Mephisto poking down the red Immortal. Can they hold on here? Level 20 is 3, 2, 1 second away.
Mephisto does have the level 20 mimicry, and there's something really fun, something really cool I learned from Pirate Realm. You can actually cast your Shade of Mephisto in the same spot, so you can, self-cast Shade of Mephisto, and you actually have overlapping Lightning Nova value, and you can actually trick enemy heroes, but you can also use this as race potential damage, structural damage, really, really cool tech that I've seen some Mephistos use. Learned that from Pirate Realm, but oh my god, Vince is going to get chunked, pops the Iron Skin. There's a massive, or not Iron Skin, the Avatar form, pops the Rewind as well. huge arrow from Hanzo. Will connects Caesar Salad, will cocoon this Mephisto, and there goes the Muradin avatar form, not finding the value he's expecting. And Madara, he's going to be able to get a Shade of Mephisto, but there's going to be got filled with a combo once again. High five from Lucio coming through, and Li Ming finds the triple kill.
Dude, this was fantastic. Muradin was having a bit of a we cannot get out moment as he kept trying to run away. Avatar, Dwarf Toss, and Nubrak was coming at him with the hot rewind, intent not to let him get away. The repulsion from Godfilth to pop him back once again. And all the escape buttons that Muradin have were not enough. As Diamond Hands said, "Are you sure?" He presses escape. "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Damn all these prompts. Damn you, Windows. I am sure. I want to escape." But Diamond Hands didn't let them get away. They get the 3, they get the 4 kills. Now with the Immortal, they're going to start breaking open the keep already with the Beatles. This should be the end of the game. This should be the 2-0 in a fantastic potential final fight by Caesar Salad and his crew.
Well, here comes the Dahaka with the big level 20 contagion. He's going to make the awesome big YouTube play that we're all going to see on the WTF moment. Unfortunately, well, no, he burrows under the ground for a second. He's going to try and have some help from my pal Vince. I don't believe the isolation. Oh, no, it did connect onto the Lucio as well as Hanzo. There's a bunker down from Blaze. Muradin got hit with the cocoon. A lot of members of the Oxygen roster respawning. Durance of Hate will not connect. Vince in the avatar form trying to back away. Huge arrow from Hanzo connecting onto Madara, just buying a few seconds, while Belith slaps his way through the shielding of this of this core. Vince at around 25% HP, and the core is getting chunked now. Nasmus does go down. Li Ming finding another kill. Godfilth is just absolutely dirty on this Li Ming, and we have Vince in the backline trying to harass, but he cannot do enough. And Diamond Hands, they come in once again and take another map in what I would consider a pretty dominant fashion, Grubby. There were some flops here and there, but it wasn't like, it was like, oh, we're back over here, we're on this side of the map. It was a lot of Diamond Hands just slowly pushing into the Oxygen side of the map.
Yeah, definitely, Bahamut. In both games so far, Diamond Hands was able to crack structure after structure after structure with leads in the departments that mattered. They were a little bit down on kills. They were a little bit down on level as well, but the window by Oxygen was not utilized well enough, not creatively enough, and therefore Diamond Hands got back in the game. They got their 20s, and they just fought really, really well with some great synergy.
We got Justin back with us right now, and got to get your thoughts on how that game went, as well as Springy's as well, because we got Springy back on the screen as well.
As did I. It was good to see both teams really playing to their win conditions. In the early game, Oxygen can't do a whole lot because they don't have any poke, and it's also really hard for them to get kills into level 10. You did notice that once they did have the level 10, Madara on the Mephisto was hitting a lot of Durances, which would set up the one-shot, so they definitely knew what their comp did, and they understood that they needed to be the team that was hard engaging. But even though they were ahead in kills 7-2, every single time they got a pick, Diamond Hands still went out and got the Immortal in the end. Diamond Hands got every single Immortal that game. They got all 5 of them. So even though Oxygen was getting the kills, in the end, Diamond Hands was getting the objectives. So they were trading, even here, they traded a kill for a fort. Like every time they went down, they weren't just dying for nothing. They were dying to either create space or to buy time. Even when the fights didn't go in their favor, they were still coming out ahead, just through better macro and just having an easier comp to play. Just having the poke is such a huge thing. Oxygen needs to get probably 2 to 3 kills before they can guaranteed secure an Immortal against the side of Diamond Hands. Like, this bot fight from Oxygen was the most important, like, turning point for them. And they killed 3 members, and they still couldn't even get, like, there's no Immortal. They still can't get an objective off of it. So it was pretty tragic for Oxygen, probably, in terms of morale, because from their perspective, it probably felt like they were winning. They were winning every single fight up until level 20, but they were just losing every Immortal. So at the end of the day, the Immortals are how you win the game. They push down the keeps. And then, and to be fair, Diamond Hands did completely wipe them in this last team fight, so can't say they didn't earn it. They won the fight when it mattered at level 20, and yeah, Diamond Hands just playing really, really well today.
Did you see that final fight there where Lucio and Anubrak and everyone were just diving on top of Muradin over and over? And it makes you wonder, where's the rest of the team? Well, heavy on Stukov, he was using the silencing arm, not the massive shove, so there was no disruption. And arguably, the Silencing Arm is a better ult than Massive Shove. And then you've got the Haka, Nazmas, he was trying to come from the rear. He actually hit a drag tongue just on a beetle because there's so many of them, right? And he was just left behind. He was only 120% movement speed, didn't have that enhanced agility because he was like this strong team fighter, but he couldn't keep up with the speed of the engage that Lucia was able to bring the whole team into Murden. So it was almost like a 5v1. Murden is like, is there anyone out there helping me? And Lunar is like, got a bit of poison. The Haka trying to run after them. It just didn't kind of work out.
It was a strong game number 2 from Diamond Hands. They were really just holding out against the side of Oxygen, and this series could be a very quick one with Diamond Hands taking a 3-0, but we have to find out what happens in map number 3. I was going to say 5. I want a map 5. But before we get into that map, we're going to take a short little break. We're going to get our legs stretched, get these players some water, and we are going to be back with that map number 3 in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. We had a nice little break right there. Really quick, just had to get some water, stretch our legs, and get ready for map number 3. Because Diamond Hands, Justin, they are doing really good in this series, and I gotta figure out, what does Oxygen do to be able to roll this back?
They definitely need to kind of just regroup and kind of take a breather, maybe reset, maybe walk around a bit, splash some water on the face. It definitely seems like Oxygen's playing a bit disjointed, and Diamond Hands is coming out the gates swinging. That being said, this does feel maybe a little reminiscent of Week 1, where Diamond Hands did get reverse swept by Simplicity. So I'm not going to go all in on Diamond Hands just yet.
Okay, all right.
Last time, I was really sure that Diamond Hands was going to just 3-0, and then they got swept, so I'm not going to call it. I'm traumatized. I don't want to call that again and have that happen to me again. So
well, let's not bring up the past. Let's go ahead and find out where we're gonna go to for our third map in this best of 5 series, and maybe we can calm your nerves a little bit here, Justin, because it's not going to be the map that started the reverse sweep. It's going to be the map that technically ended the reverse sweep. It's going to be Diamond Hands choosing to take us to Curse Hollow. And if memory serves me correct from last week, Diamond Hands did take this map. Yes, they actually took this map in map number 3 up against Granite Gaming. And as I actually look at the maps from last week, Diamond Hands literally played Battlefield, Dragonshire, and Curse Hollow in the 3-0 up against Granite Gaming. And going into this Curse Hollow again, I'm feeling confident for Diamond Hands. They look like a synergistic team. They look like they're on point, and just the communication is there. When we were in their comms, it seemed like they had a game plan consistently for what they wanted to do in a lot of these team fights, or even just on the map. Yes, they did, flub in that top lane on Battlefield of Eternity, but it still was really good turnaround into the late game, right, Grubby? Really good turnaround from Diamond Hands in the late game of Battlefield.
Yes, definitely it was. They held on for their level 20 to kick in and then had that fantastic team fight. And that brings them to the brink of victory, actually, with that 2-0 score. Diamond Hands, the team that also brought Simplicity to the brink of defeat, but then suffered the 2-3 turnaround. Let's see if they can close it out this time.
Yeah, we are getting ready for our third map, Curse Hollow, and I really like this map. I feel like it is our tried and true MOBA map, if you will. Like it's a large map. Macro is a big factor. Micro as well is a big factor. And when we talk about this, as we're getting ready for this game, I have a list of just topics to talk about with you too. And so, Justin, I want to get your breakdown. What is macro versus micro? And can you use Curse Hollow as a great example as we're getting into the draft?
Yeah, so if you're referring to what I meant in terms of shot calling on Dragonshire,
yeah, please.
I was speaking on how Madara was sort of microing his teammates quite a bit, where he would say, for example, you and you go here, like you go here, you go there. It's kind of micromanaging. It's something that Grubby is quite experienced in. It's a RTS type strategy, just with humans.
I thought you called me bossy in team games, because I've been worried about that before.
No, but it's something that Grubby would be quite familiar with. That was sort of what Madara was doing. He was ordering around the players a bit. And on the side of Diamond Hands, they were doing more of their shot calling seemed a little bit more fluid. It felt more macro, more concept based, where they didn't need to be sort of saying who's going where. They were just sort of saying, like, because all of them are already looking at the same things, it felt like, in the comms. So they're all feeding information and giving information, but it felt like all of their Ives were all on the same thing. They all had a common goal. They all knew what they were doing, it felt like. So that's sort of what I meant by that is Diamond Hands, they felt a little bit more fluid, and it felt like that kind of enables your team to sort of have everyone kind of be doing the best thing that they can possibly be doing in any given situation, which I think is a better style of shot calling. But it doesn't always work. Different teams have different strategies and different styles, and it's all kind of a matter of what works best for what teams.
No, I absolutely agree. It's the same thing when we all play Storm League together. When I shot call, I try and give general direction of, let's head to top and look for a gank, or let's head here and do this. It's not like, okay, we're going here, and Medivh, you're gonna set the portal, and Rexar, you're gonna do this. Like it's none of that. It's just like we're going here, and the game plan is this. And then, when we get into the team fight, that's when it's more micro in the sense of like, I'm diving Brightwing with a Stormbolt, or I am, avataring to save myself, stuff like that. So as I said, I have a list of concepts that I really kind of want to go through with both of you, and we can talk very, very extensively about a lot of them. But let's get into the draft here, Grubby, because we got a couple bans and a pick already on the side of Oxygen.
2 global bans, only Stukov ban. Brings out the Brightwing. And how do you abuse Brightwings? Generally, you don't want to go with the Diablo into Brightwing because he cannot finish his combo into Brightwing. She tends to polymorph after the Shadow Charge so that there's no overpower, and that kind of exposes him. We're going to see the Anubra coming in here and the Hogger. Hogger, of course, can get some nice shockwave into a focus target as he hears the Brightwing porting in, trying to get them both. And then it's up to Brightwing to make sure that she's got her cleanse available so that she can hit the Z and then boom, insta-pop the cleanse to free herself from any CC that comes in right as she ports in, which I guess you can counterplay by waiting for 0.2 seconds after her port in as a CC'er. So it's all pretty interesting. The Zeratul ban coming out here, not very effective yet so far in this tournament, but it's really good synergy with Diablo.
Wonder if there's a consideration into Vikings for the side of Diamond Hands, or an Abathur, and that's the reason they don't want the Zeratul roaming around to get those kills. I do want to get Justin's thoughts on what's unfolding right now, and me personally, Justin, I want to pose this question to you. Oxygen's draft's looking very dive heavy, and do you think they're going to go into this dive single target burst composition?
So I think they have the option to, but I don't think they necessarily need to commit to that. They have the option to have Diablo go with a more defensive playstyle with the fire build. Basically just match the pictures on the Ws. That's a much safer strategy, and it might be a little bit better here because without having that self-cleanse that you get when you're in your Lightning Breath, a Nubarak could very easily just cocoon Diablo and look to go into the backline. I think that would be the typical strategy. And especially on a map like Cursed Hollow, where boss control is so important, I'd say right now, the boss control is heavily favored for the side of Diamond Hands. They have a Nubarak with Cocoon. They have Hogger, who can spin around on the point and be untargetable, basically. And they have Lucio, who can even knock people off the boss point. So I think that this is feeling a little bit reminiscent to me of the previous game, where Oxygen is drafting to win fights, but they maybe are not necessarily drafting to win objectives that can win them the game. On Cursed Hollow, it comes down often to a boss fight, where also Imperius, I really like this pick on the side of Diamond Hands. Imperius is one of the best counters to Diablo. You don't see it very much, and it's very hard to play into Brightwing with Polymorph, as any CC can interrupt his spear. But Imperius with the percent damage at level 1 absolutely shreds Diablo. Diablo hates playing against Imperius. So I'd say that Oxygen has a well-rounded team comp for team fighting, but it might be a little bit difficult for them to actually win the game with their team composition unless they snowball and win almost every team fight.
Yeah, I love that you bring out the win condition, because while Cocoon removes a person from the boss win condition circle occupation point, Bunker does the same thing. So like Blaze is actually hurting your chances to cap the point sometimes as you get in Bunker to save yourself.
So while we're loading in, and just before I get Justin's prediction here, what you're both saying is that this is a combustion Blaze, no Bunker for this game, right? Your silence
That's
means
smart.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, your silence means yes here, Justin. But I gotta get your prediction on who's gonna win Cursed Hollow.
I'm gonna give it to Diamond Hands. They do have the momentum. I don't think they're gonna get reverse swept. this time, with the maps being the same as last week, it feels like we're reading off of the week 2 script and not the week 1 script. So I'm going to say that Diamond Hands is likely going to hit him with the 3-0. Oxygen is looking a little bit rough right now, and I really, really like the Imperious pick into Diablo especially.
Well, Justin, thank you for your breakdown analysis. We'll see you after Curse Hollow, as I am going to heavily agree with you as well. I think Diamond Hands has the momentum, but let's introduce these teams and find out what's going to happen here on Curse Hollow, as we've got Oxygen in the blue looking to, well, continue this series, as Mater will be playing Sylvanas, Nasmus on the Blaze, Vince on Diablo, Hebi on the Brightwing, and Draded back on the Lunara. Over in the Diamond Hands side, looking to just close things out in 3-0 fashion, get themselves a pizza and watch the second best of 5 of the day. We got Kelsier on the Hogger, Nentori on the Imperious, Gotfilth playing the Hanzo, Valimar on Lucio, and Caesar Salad on the Anubrak. Grubby, I'm really liking what Diamond Hands is doing when it comes to just their synergy in shot calling, as we've been in the comms once, in just their play style, in the way that they can recover in some of those moments that seem like, well, Diamond Hands are starting to falter on these maps. But I have to get your thoughts here as well, because I know you get that big brain and you have so much analysis over the rest of us, right?
Diamond, well, I don't know about that, but I will say words, and maybe they'll make sense.
I gotta build you up as much as I can here, Grubby. That's the game plan.
Diamond Hands went 2-0 in all of the series they played so far. And one of them they closed out 3-0. One of them is as of yet unfinished presently, and one of them they went 2-3. So they've been off to a great season, honestly, and a great start each time. Yeah. They've got all the tools that they need to do it again. And I think that shot calling thing, the way that the teams are getting on, was really telling. I find myself, when I'm shot calling in Storm League games, when we were still using a lot of voice chat, I find myself shot calling the most when I feel that my team is not doing well enough by themselves. So I start micromanaging people like they are all units in an RTS. I have to move past the guilt of maybe being a bit too over-controlling, which sometimes chat says like, oh, let them play the game. But I'm like, hey, you need to be here, you need to be here, you need to be here. The problem with that style is it's working well when you're winning. But when you're losing, or when people make some mistakes, they become really less confident in their own abilities. And I guess all good leaders know this, is if you're holding their hand through everything, like Madara was very vocal about the moves to go here and there. And maybe it makes sense because my pal Vince is a little newer to this league here. So I think all of this makes sense as Madara takes a lot of damage. We have a 5-man from Diamond Hands in the center here. It falls apart when you need your soldiers, your generals, to think for themselves and to make the best of a situation with the eyes that they have in that moment, because suddenly they won't know what to do anymore if you didn't call it out. And I think we heard that on Dragonshire when Kharazim got attacked, when Hebi got attacked out of the 7-sided strike, got blown up fully, or when anyone basically got blown up fully on Dragonshire, it was just quiet, right? Like, because suddenly don't know what to say anymore. Right. Another cleanse comes out here. So we'll see how that goes. Diamond Hands maybe just more experienced as a team by now. And I think Oxygen is going to get stronger over time. Just need more experience with Vince as well. But this series isn't over. It's 6-6. Nice fights by both so far. And the first tribute is going to be bot. We've had a lot of moves here, a lot of attacks onto Madara so far. He's actually been heavily pressured, and it's pretty insane that he's still alive.
I feel like a lot of the focus is into Mater because of just the mobility that you can force out of the Sylvanas, but we have a dive in onto Nasmus with the Celestial Charge. Phase Shift from Brightwing will connect, and Valimar will stop the channel. Nasmus, oh, actually, hold on. There's Vince coming in with the Shadow Charge. Caesar Salad does have this Hardened Carapace build on Anubrex, so he's got that Shed Exoskeleton level 4 for the movement speed, and also more spell armor at level 1, which is going to be great to mitigate some of the burst ability of Madara or Draded. This first objective delayed out, but Hogger and Lunara will find some value in mid. But if we actually look into mid really, really quickly, there's going to be a Blaze rotating in, but oh my god, Kelsier actually gets the Hog Wild out. Thanks to our Observer for catching that really quickly. I wasn't sure if there would actually be a dive into this Hogger, but Blaze goes into top lane. Damage over time on the Caesar Salad. Lucio is going to amp it up, or at least provide some healing, and we still sit killless. First objective phase still up and available. We have a full objective for 1 minute on this map, and I don't know about you, Grubby, but the longest I ever saw an objective on this map was like 11 minutes from spawn time. So it was literally 14 minutes or so into the game, and it was still first objective. It was so delayed. It was insane.
Oh my god, Valimar saving everybody here. Saving Godfilth there, even as Lunara gets mega damage across the map, across the wall. So does Sylvanas. Now Nubrak back from the dead. Almost dead anyway. As we have another combo on Imperius. Can Valimar save him again? Not this time. There's too much lethality seeping out of Oxygen. And it's all Diamond Hands can do to run away with their pitiful little lives as one of their members got taken out. And Hogger is double laning together with Blaze. We now have a Sylvanas empowered push here. Oxygen, honestly, off to a great start. A lot of pressure, a lot of damage now coming in. And yeah, let me try to remember the question you asked. I don't remember it anymore.
It's okay, because we have a fight continuing into the bottom lane. Godfilth comes through, finishes his quest. Caesar Salad will be falling, and Oxygen are just absolutely controlling and dominating this bottom lane. The one thing that I'm actually looking at right now is the build between Madara and Draded, Grubby. We have this unstable poison at 4 and the Lost Soul at level 7, and I feel like that damage over time, that spell power as well from Overwhelming Affliction, pairs into all of this unstable Lost Soul. But then let's keep in mind you have Draded with this Lunara that also has damage over time from the Noxious Blossom, and then the choking pollen value at level 7. I feel like the damage over time burst ability is really, really strong. But Grubby, I believe we have a First Blood replay for you to break down for us.
All right, let's take a look at it again as we roll up the replay here, and we see that Imperius goes in. He thinks, hey, Diablo looks like a good target. And Nubarak comes in. Exactly when does the turnaround happen? As Imperius steps up on the backline, who, by the way, is very healthy. Vince still has his Shadow Charge available, so it's the easiest stun in the world for him. Gotta be a little critical there of Imperius stepping up. Nentori, who initially engaged on Diablo, then thought that he could move past him onto the backline, even though he didn't have his Q available anymore. Just kind of, you've got this feeling of this forward momentum, and it just wasn't to be. And Vince, you know, he's still half-life, he's got his team with him, got the Shadow Charge. Now I've got bosses traded out, we're back to the present. And that fort is still healthy. They even saved the fountain. Nice job, Oxygen.
I feel like the Oxygen team, or at least both these teams, have their sprays bound to like right click or something, because I keep seeing sprays from everyone left and right. Like they clear the boss. There was like, I think it was Lunara sprayed a Tyrande portrait or something. I was like, all right, cool. I was just, or the Night Elves from Warcraft 3, actually, I think was what the portrait looked like. But either way, our third objectives here, Valimar needs to get this channel, or at least the side of Diamond Hands does. Otherwise, the opposing side of Oxygen will be looking at a curse, as it's two of those channels. Nasmus delaying out with just Oil Slick after Oil Slick, Madara and Draded pushing into the mid lane. It seems like there's just my God!
Oh my God!
Goodbye, Nubarak, and that's the burst ability that I was talking about between Draded and Madara.
Dude, that felt so Dragonshire. Double laser channel gives you the option to do something else which isn't actually capping the DK. In this case, the double tribute gave Oxygen the ability to focus on something else. After they did a few interrupts, they saw Diamond Hands kept trying to commit to capture the tribute as fast as possible, with a Nubarak anchoring in the center. And Oxygen hit him big. They hit the Nubarak with everything they got, even hitting the Wailing Arrow, make sure that he can't burrow charge away. Because even a single kill gives Oxygen the entire fort. And this is the first game of the series that they are ahead in structures. They had been winning fights, but they didn't have to push. Now with Sylvanas, with that kill, they suddenly did. Next tribute coming up, everyone's alive. 13 on the horizon. Diamond Hands is starting to bring in Hager there from the top lane. Kelsier is coming down. Sylvanas pops over to the Bruiser Camp, just a safe maneuver. Distribute, a little bit good for Diamond Hands, but Blaze, Nasmas, gonna start interrupting.
And when we look at the positioning, we have the side of Diamond Hands in well positioned for this. Blaze with a Jet Propulsion into Nentori, who tries to Celestial Charge away. Angelic Armament will be used. Heavy comes in with a Blink Heal. There's a high five from Lucio. Angelic Armament will be used, thrown backwards, misses into the enemy side. Haunting Wave over the wall from Sylvanas, but not triggered. Kelsier trying to zone back the enemy team. The Trickle Experience is coming in, but can Diamond Hands delay things out? Scatter Arrow will connect, but there's so much damage on the Godfilth. He needs to get out of here. The speed boost from Valimar is amplifying this disengage. Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas was utilized to try and get that last damage onto Hanzo. He sits at a literal sliver of HP, as we see on the top of our screen, but here is a polymorph, a split, and Imperius will fall once again. That kill into Imperius is huge because Sylvanas is able to get the curse, and this Fire Stomp and pressure through bottom is massive. This could, or maybe is going to be a keep here for Oxygen.
Savannah's capturing the tribute is actually pretty symbolic because she just cursed the entire enemy buildings with her black arrow via the Ravenlord's curse. There's an attack on the keep. There's a catapult here. It's starting to help the fight as well. There's a big shadow charge on the Nubrak. Is there a wailing follow-up? No wailing. So the burrow charge comes in. We have Blaze going deep. Caesar Salad getting poked. Draded has just been impressing on heroes like Lunara and Falstad, getting loads of damage in. He's clocking in at 27,000 hero damage, same as Hanzo, and a little bit more than Sylvanas.
This Oxygen crew are really firing on all cylinders in map 3. They do not want to get 3-0'd by the side of Diamond Hands, and it's showing as it's 4-0 in kills. Hanzo will have an arrow connect onto Lunara. It's kind of a happy accident realistically as Nasmus takes a lot of damage. Angelic Armament mitigated by the bunker. Nasmus getting very low. Gottfilk wants the kill, but can't get it. Hortapult in. Augur wants this kill, but did Kelsier go way too far away from his team? Little high five from Lucio as the Celestial Charge does connect into Vince. Vince does have full souls on his Diablo, and Vince is so low, 40 HP! 40 HP on Vince, and he is gonna live while the Anubrak will fall. Madara goes down. The members of Diamond Hands finally finding a singular kill with Vince tapping well and shadow charging into the enemy's side, but it does not continue because Diamond Hands, they gotta go back to core and clean things up because their core loses loses a lot of HP right there.
34.
Thank you. I had the number, and then there was another rock that hit, and I go, crap.
Dude, I was streaming yesterday, and I was struggling over the most simple math. I just couldn't remember what 6 times 8 is, and I'm not even gonna ask you now. That
I'm rubbing off on you.
It's hard, man. It's streaming. I think hardest job in the world because you need to do math on stream sometimes. But yeah, really cool fight. And really what happened there was Diamond Hands jumping in. It looked good for them. And then Madara just ripped a huge wailing arrow on everybody, on 3 members. They got the kill. It was a good job of Diamond Hands to get the return kill. All in all, a great fight for Oxygen to take because it was a win-win. Either way, how it goes, kind of even, they got that core damage. And that sets up the boss. Lunara Sylph started to move on it.
When we get into another objective where we could maybe see another fight happen, I want to try and jump into the Oxygen comms here, Grubby, because I really need to hear how they're communicating in this game, because I feel like something has happened between Dragonshire and this Cursed Hollow map. I really feel like we're hearing a different Oxygen, and do you think this is the time to get in, or do you think teams just kind of go in clear waves? It's hard to tell.
I can wait no longer. Let's go. Let's take us there, Captain Bahamut.
Into Oxygen we go.
Let's just play it slow. Okay, they're looking right now. Back up, back up. Just come back to the boss.
They go on me, that's fine.
I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm fine.
I have all 3 out of this.
I'm on Notori out of this. I'm on Notori.
They're
all silenced. Notori.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Watch the arrow. Okay, this is fine. Boss is here now. They popped on stuff.
So good, so good.
I'm still on Notori.
I'm in.
I'm still on him. I might have him. I think I got him.
Kills in the back. Kills in the back. Kills in the back.
Yep, I'm on him.
Yeah, coming.
Nice, he's screwed. Alright, go core.
Nice.
Do you have Z? I'm pretty low.
No. Z can.
I'm hitting core only.
I kill maybe a noob. Here.
I follow up. Yeah. Okay, that was good.
Hit core,
I'm hitting core.
Yep.
Oh, we won. Did you?
Easy. I mean, it's just too free.
Well played.
It's just too free. Here come.
And just like that, Grubby, the members of Oxygen will be able to take Cursed Hollow away from Diamond Hands, and the script from week number 2 looks like there might have been an addendum in that script in one of the breaks where it doesn't say that Diamond Hands takes a 3-0 on Cursed Hollow. It's going to be Oxygen continuing this best-of-5 series. Really well played from Oxygen. And Grubby, and also Justin, I want to get both of your thoughts on those comms, but Grubby, please, what did you think of what we heard?
Well, it sounded messy to me. I don't really know what we heard. But the important thing is how they played. Whatever works for them. There was a lot of call-outs there. There was like, I think I got this. This one's in the back. We can get Nintori. And that kind of worked out. It worked out. They did get Nintori. It was very hectic, but it was a great call and a great execution there, finishing with that boss. Very helpful that the core was already hurt as well. So Oxygen, they made a number of really good decisions, and this time their superior team fight, just like a Battlefield, did pay off to lead to the victory.
Now we've heard from Oxygen, we've heard from Diamond Hands, but we haven't heard from you, Justin. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, that was Oxygen looks angry. They came out. You could hear it in the comms. They were a lot more hype than the previous comms. They were pretty loud. They were getting kind of rowdy over there on the Oxygen side. It felt a little reminiscent of that game 5 of Diamond Hands versus Simplicity. The early game especially, Oxygen was mostly just playing as a 4-man bot lane, and Diamond Hands was kind of falling into the trap of fighting it and losing. And this was kind of the same thing that happened in game 5 against Simplicity for Diamond Hands. They just kept responding to the bot push, and then that's what set them behind just out from the start. They lost the whole bot fort because they would respond, and then they would lose members, and that just made things worse. So instead of trading, they were just forcing that fight, or the 4v4s, and it just wasn't working out for them, and that snowballed really hard. Oxygen's team comp, I do like that they went Fire Breath. I feel a little betrayed by Nintori. My analysis was a bit flawed because I had assumed that he was going to go percent damage at level 1. He took the W talent, and I really think that makes a gigantic difference for how they play team fights. Until level 16 or so, Diablo should be basically a non-target without that percent damage. If he has that percent damage, he can do significantly more for just burning the Diablo on the front line. So I think that was a bit of a mistake with talents. But, I mean, Oxygen, their comp was made to team fight, and they got the fights they wanted, so they didn't even have to contest over any bosses. It's just, Oxygen looks angry, and they executed their team fight comp well this time, which is strange because it's not on BOE, which should be easier. It's on Cursed Hollow, a big map, but they won every single fight.
The thing that is curious to me when we were in those comms is, yes, we heard a lot of Madara making shot calls, and as we've all said, it was very loud in there. The one thing that I was hearing that was kind of new in comparison to when we were in there in Dragonshire was I felt like I heard Vince a lot more vocal. Maybe Vince is finding his footing with the team, or maybe he's finding his voice per se within the team as well. And this Diablo was well played by Vince. I really think that Oxygen had everything they needed to win that last map. And while we're talking about maps, let's go ahead and move into where we're going to be heading for this 4th map in this best of 5 series. It is going to be the map choice of Oxygen, as Diamond Hands has opted for first pick priority, but we're heading to Infernal Shrines. As I mentioned, up against Simplicity, this was the map that started the reverse sweep. Now, Cursed Hollow was where it could be possible here, Grubby. This could be the continuation of a reverse sweep, and Oxygen looked a lot better. I think they could do very, very similar things here on Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, and this map objective, it's funny because on Battlefield of Eternity, you have drafting for the team fight, and you've got drafting for the objective. Just this single player experience of how much can you hit this end boss, and they are very different talent picks and hero picks, and that kind of messed up Oxygen. But on Cursed Hollow, it's a bit more normalized, where it's very much just about playing the game, rotation, clear team fight. And Infernal Shrines, I would say, falls more under that Cursed Hollow category as well. Whatever works in a team fight is also going to work pretty well into the skeletons, and it's going to get you Punishers. They've shown they have a really dangerous Sylvanas in Madara, and that could be repeated here. Lunara, Sylvanas, I think Oxygen would be happy to keep repeating those, because essentially those have kept working for them.
I'd love to see this Diablo personally again from Vince, and maybe that's why we saw it banned out in, I believe, map number 2. Maybe this was a something that Diamond Hands already knows, like, okay, we can't give Vince the Diablo. And taking away the Anubrak seemingly has worked as well. Vince had a pretty okay game on the Dragonshire map with the Anubrak. It was just the burst ability from Diamond Hands in that first map was just way too strong. Justin, kind of same question to you. What are your expectations for Oxygen going into Infernal Shrines?
I think this is... I think we're seeing a potential reverse sweep in the making here on the side of Oxygen. Oxygen has looked better in all the team fights besides the game 1, where they did have that weird draft that I've spoken about it before. It was just a really weird draft, so I don't really blame them for losing 5v5s with that. But in BOE, or on BOE, they were winning the 5v5s with the team fight comp. On Cursed Hollow, they were winning the 5v5s with their team fight comp. Infernal Shrines is the first map that's been picked that this is the team fight comp map. This is the map where you can try to play macro, but we've seen so far that is not a viable strategy on this map. This is the map for Oxygen with the way that the teams are playing in the series. So I hope to see Oxygen not do anything too crazy in the draft, since what they've been drafting these past 2 games has been working for winning fights. And if they win a fight on this map, they should be able to win the game.
We talked a little bit about the Imperius, actually. Justin, you had talked about talents on the Imperius, and want to get Grubby. What's your thought about Imperius in the competitive realm? Or I guess thoughts.
Yeah, I think he's kind of a melee glass cannon. He gets some pretty cool CC, and he does good wave clear with that talent belt, the one that I always pick. That's what he had last game, which means he can solo lane. Justin was critical because while that gives more macro, he does more damage with, I believe it's called Burn the Impure at level 1, the percentage damage.
Yeah.
Diablo did get away with murder many times in that game. That would have netted him the kill. It would have had a bit less map pressure. So which one is right to take? I mean, if you're solo lane dedicated, you go the W build. But with the way that Diamond Hands has been running their comps so far, it's been very heavy on the bruisers. Like every game, they're like, oh yeah, we're Rexar, by the way, and Hogger, or we're Hogger and Imperius. So they're running single backline each time. They better make sure they've got the damage to finish off whatever they're facing. And Diablo just happens to be one of the highest health, highest healing tanks that there is. And Diablo Brightwing, it was just one step too far on the ladder. So if they're against Diablo again, they need to make sure that if it's Mass Bruisers again for the side of Diamond Hands, that they do take those damage talents. And in the end, that may have made the difference, because one kill on Diablo, soul reset, everything can change. It's really interesting how even a talent pick could make a difference. But yeah, Imperius doesn't get picked a lot. I think he's viable.
Okay. Yeah, it was just one of those things. As you actually perfectly said, he doesn't get picked a lot, so it was nice to have a little bit of a conversation around what we think and where he sits. But I agree with both of you. I mean, you need wave clear, but also team fight. It's like playing Dahaka, for example. When you're looking at level 4, it's like, do I want more ability to gain essence from just doing my double soak duties, or do I want to be able to PvP, or what do I grab at level 7? Do I want cooldown reduction on my Darkstorm, or do I want more drags to help out the team? There's a lot of things to consider with these drafts, but as we're getting things through, as we're getting through these picks on Infernal Shrines, Justin, I got to get your thoughts on what's unfolding here.
So far, I'm definitely preferring what Oxygen has been drafting. So Diamond Hands did take the first pick, Dahaka, which in general, Dahaka is extremely strong in the meta right now. But that being said, he isn't necessarily the dominant Shrine offlaner. He doesn't provide. I would argue that Blaze provides a lot more in a 5v5 on the Shrine than Dahaka does. Dahaka has the global, but I don't think that makes up for the teamfight presence of the Blaze. Okay. So I think that kind of trading Blaze for Dahaka, which I would argue is about a 1-to-1 trade, I don't think it's significantly in favor of first pick. That's really not what you want when you're getting that first pick advantage. And Lunara, having Dre to get Lunara again, seems like it might be a bit of a mistake. I think that Lunara is kind of in a ridiculous place right now, and traded one of the best flex players. Giving it to him again when we've seen how much he enjoys it. I'm really in favor of Oxygen's draft so far. Yeah, okay, especially now. Not vetting the Tychus on the side of Oxygen I think is a little strange. I would expect that Diamond Hands will either take a Malthael and do something weird with their front line, or pick a Tychus to try to counter the Diablo. But Medivh is also still on the table for Oxygen if they do go with that Tychus. So I'm really, really heavily favoring what Oxygen is drafting so far.
So Grubby, why is this a Cho'Gall, and also why is this going to be a I'm just kidding. I wish it was, but I know that they're going to take this serious, and they're going to pick up a Tyrael, actually. So Sanctification value to maybe mitigate the big burst coming in, and then Tychus to, pull out the giant Odin and just kind of Jaeger pilot his way through the enemy team sort of deal, Grubby?
Yeah, the classical tank counter to Diablo Baha would be Garrosh normally. But then with Anduin, throwing everything onto a toss that is needing to get a kill in order for Garrosh not to die in the aftermath, it's risky. So I was thinking, okay, Garrosh, maybe not as much into Anduin, even if it's good into Diablo. Then there's Medivh coming out as well. As I want to let Justin talk about the Medivh, but what other tanks were available? Stitches, would Gorge be particularly good with Hanzo, Dahaka Malf? Could have been. It was a choice. They go with the Tyrael. Hasn't enjoyed a lot of success yet. I think it's a risky pick, but that means Diamond Hands is playing for defense. Hanzo pokes shields. Now, Justin, what do you think about Medivh?
Yeah, so I sort of somewhat called it that they had the option to go Medivh. They did pick Medivh in response to the Tychus. Tychus in isolation beats Diablo in the matchup. It's heavily Tychus favored, but Medivh absolutely destroys Tychus. So it's like a rock paper scissors situation you have, and Medivh is available. It's in the slot where they can pick it. I am very, very fearful for the side of Diamond Hands in this game. Not only is Medivh really good to be able to put the Protect on the Diablo so that Tychus cannot kill the Diablo, aside from that, they picked Tyrael, and Sanctification can be completely negated by Medivh's ultimate if he goes Leyline. So it's... I really don't like the last two picks from Diamond Hands. If Oxygen manages to lose this game, then Diamond Hands is just the better team.
Alrighty, well, let's see what happens here, because that is a bold call, my friend Justin. We will see you after this map number 4. We've got Oxygen in the blue. We've got Nasmus playing the Blaze, Mater on the Lunara, Vince on the Diablo, Draded playing Medivh, and Heavy on the Anduin. Over in the red, still looking to close things out, but it would be a 3-1 this time. Diamond Hands, we've got Caesar Salad on the Tyrael, Nintori playing the Dahaka, Hanzo played by Kelsier, got Filth on the Tychus, and Valimar playing Malfurion. I think Justin kind of put it perfect, Grubby. I think like this is Oxygen has kind of everything they want. I feel they've got Diablo, Medivh, they got actually Madara on the Lunara this time. So a little bit of a player swap on that one, but still, like, I feel like Oxygen has the stronger draft. Though I'm just going to call it again. I think it's a Diamond Hands win. I got this feeling as we do see our first yoink from Anduin, 75-second cooldown. But Grubby, haven't gotten your thoughts on how everything is looking for this Infernal Shrines map.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is a fantastic composition put together by Oxygen. Diablo, Medivh, like they've got everything you would want from a dream comp. And I'm still not very impressed with Tyrael. Tyrael seems like he's always bringing a lot to any team that picks him. Shields, movement speed. He brings so much, but he doesn't bring W's. Doesn't bring the wins for some reason.
I literally was about to be like, well, no, Grubby, he has a W. Anyway. I was like, yeah, he's got righteousness. What do you mean? No,
not our Storm League allies. They don't. They go for the regeneration globe ability. It's like, no, thousands of points of shield for my allies. No. I want 10 more self regen. Oh, thanks. Very nice. Very nice.
Seems like you might have been on the receiving end of this a little too many times, Grubby.
Ardent Restoration for the lose. Downvote, dislike.
Well, as we get that Reddit thread going and we do get those down likes coming out, this will be an Arcane Punisher for bottom lane first objective. We got Nasmus versus Nintori in the top lane, and looks like Nintori is going to be opting in for more of a sustained build with the tissue regeneration. And Blaze, I don't know if this is just the flavor of the week or what, Grubby, but it's another Adrenaline Stim Pack for Blaze, and I was actually seeing this in the games I was casting on the Heroes Lounge aspect of things.
Yeah, why not the shield? In case you forget to hit the shield, then the game does it for you.
I really don't know. Like, it's just so much Adrenaline Stim Pack from Blazes lately, and it's not like we've had a patch that buffed it or anything either. I'm just
for the wave clear, and
yeah.
You know, it's objective focused as well.
True.
So that's kind of neat. The alternative, of course, being CC, but why would you go for the what's it called, the anti-CC?
The new habits?
Yeah, why would you go for new habits to cleanse yourself when there's literally 0 CC on the other side?
You do have a point. Wait, no, not 0. You got Drag, you got Root from Mouth.
HGC memes feels good, man.
I got great bait.
No, there is, of course, CC. There's quite a bit of CC, but Tyrael not the most traditional CC tank. So maybe they feel they can get away with it.
Okay.
You know, against the Haka and Mouth as pretty much the only hard CC. I think it kind of makes sense to get more objective orientation, as that was an issue on Battlefield of Eternity, and they don't want to get caught out without that.
Good rotation up from Madara into Nintori to get some decent damage, and also on the note of just the ability just to survive, I was also not even noting the fact that you have the Arcane Barrier from Medivh. You've also got the Leap of Faith from Anduin. You got Glyph of Faith at 16 for Anduin for an extra charge. So I feel like this Blaze, just having the extra damage will work out because he can just be more punishing and try and win these fights. Draded still building up those Arcane Rift stacks, and Draded is very far forward. Draded, you've got 16 stacks, and there's a brush stuck in from Nintori. The drag, I don't believe it connected, or it might have been interrupted by this Diablo Shadow charge. Punisher to bottom lane in favor of Diamond Hands. Portal for Medivh, and that allows him to jump back into the fight. First Blood goes over to the side of Oxygen. They may have a Punisher knocking on the bottom lane fort front door, but they still find this first kill. A few more stacks for Medivh, and souls are being slowly achieved for Vince once again. I gotta be honest, Grubby, this Diablo looks comfortable for my pal Vince.
Yeah, I think he's looked very good on Diablo so far. As happy as tap dancing on the laser. He's like, hot, 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 hot. Just running around.
Dance, Anduin, dance!
Yeah, but he survived. He's cool. So Fort drops to about 20% or so. So Oxygen, they sacrificed that with the dreaded baited move as he pretended to die, but then they turned around and got that one kill, that first blood. Did cost them some damage here. And I guess, you know, between because there is Medivh, there is double support, you really need all the DPS you can get from Blaze and Lunara to secure the shrine. Because they don't really feel like they've got enough yet. No Lightning Breath as well, if that's the choice he's going to be going for. Oxygen did give up that Immortal. They do get that XP right now, but structurally, they're not in as good of a place. So from Diamond Hand's perspective, it's pretty much in line with the Battlefield of Eternity expectations. Is Diablo going to choose someone? He's just going for Tychus. Now you see how Tychus gets punished. Short range assassin gets the minigun, gets mostly force of will blocked, and then gives Diablo the very unique opportunity to EQ instead of QE, which means you pull them over your shoulder and then you knock them towards your team. A powerful move, but Godfilth does get away. Boom, there's the ults. Light Bomb, Leyline Seal, Thornwood Vine, Lightning Breath, and Bunker. So it is the Lightning Breath.
I do like the ability, though, for Diablo to, for Anduin, to apply the Light Bomb onto Diablo, and then he can shadow charge in and close that distance, get multiple forms of control into the enemy's side, and it's a good build overall. I also want to note the Arcane Explosion for this Medivh at level 7, but I'm going to hold that thought as there was a dive onto Kelsier, who's going to be fine for now, does get a Scatter Arrow out, and 10 talent tier is achieved by Diamond Hands. Massive silence with the Twilight Dream, Commandeer Odin. We have the Dragon Strike from Hanzo.
Ooh.
No arrows to CC. We got Isolation and Sanctification, but another fight will break out. There's going to be the Lightning Breath. Anduin pops the Light Bomb underneath it, and that's going to be a kill onto Hanzo quite quick. And these stacks from Medivh, for anyone wondering, 32 right now, full souls for Diablo, but that kill into Hanzo was just punishing.
Dirty.
Yeah.
That's I call that the LB squared combo. Light Bomb, Lightning Breath together there. Fantastic. Getting that slow, sets up the bomb as we have a move, a play, Tyrael, but he gets the sword away out Druid's Might. Second blood for Oxygen.
These kills are really working out for Oxygen, just picking apart the Diamond Hands roster. But just really quickly, for anyone that's wondering, the Arcane Explosion, when Force of Will expires, it deals 123 damage to nearby enemies, plus 50% of damage it prevented, up to 485 additional damage. And those are scaling talents, so as we have those. But it sounds like we have got a little bit of a combo replay for you to break down for us, Grubby.
Yeah, let's look at that LB squared combo once again as Diablo gets the Lightning Breath. How exactly did that happen? Oh, Hanzo was running away from way far on the left, so he jumped over from danger into an even greater danger. Straight into Diablo. No real saving it there. The mobility, of course, that the Diablo Medivh team brings is incredible. And it's easy to understand how you can just suddenly have a team on you and how you can feel so scared, actually, to move out. There's a portal. Boom. Instantly. Run and gun. Godfilth forced to use his escape. Both Kelsier and Godfilth need to be very, very safe here. It's all down to the Sanctification to save them. When is he going to pop the Sanct? And then Valamar can walk forward through the Sanct and Twilight Dream. But until that perfect moment, that 3-second window, it's just poke fiesta for Diamond Hands. And they don't have much initiative to start the fight.
There's another shadow charge in from Vince, but he's just mostly applying pressure to the face of the enemy team. I think we do have Nentori doing some double soak up against Nazmus, Blaze versus Dahaka in that lane, and the top lane is going to be the priority. Objective phase is up and available. No one's starting it out just yet as Diablo dives in. There's a lot of damage onto Tychus. He gets shredded. Lunara is able to get that kill. We do have the Medivh finishing out his stacks and throws out a massive Leyline Seal. Here's a silence from Malfurion outside of that, but he still goes down. This is Diablo, my pal Vince, controlling the fight. The Sanctification's on a 75-second cooldown, so he couldn't use that. Had to back away with the Eldruin's Might. The big thing I have to talk about in a lot of this is just going to be the positioning of the Diablo and Draded on this Medivh. They are synergistically controlling the side of Diamond Hands with just even portals.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Diamond Hands, it was pretty much all over the place. Tyrael solo Sanctified, which I think we see a lot these days from Tyraels in CCL, sadly. Dyke is completely by himself, died before Light Bomb even popped. And then Leyline Seal hitting all three. It was a 5v4 in total in general, with the Haka still cleaning up on IL, B, and C. So, yeah, you kind of get this feeling of what's Diamond Hands doing, but I think it is a big draft difference as well. And it's going to be a freaking miracle if they make the comeback in this game. You know, they're ahead in the series, but it feels like they've got no chance anymore, the whole thing.
Well, we'll see if that'll be the case. There's a Light Bomb, and Hanzo goes down once again. Diablo taking a bit of a nap as he gets a kill. He's like, I'll get the kill, I'll take a nap, and then I'll put pressure onto Caesar Salad once again, because I don't think there's an Aldruin's Might available. He just gets it out, but this is a very low Caesar Salad. He does have Sanctification, but not going to even be able to utilize the button, as this is just constant kill after kill. The positioning of Oxygen is just so good here into the side of Diamond Hands, Grubby, and just, I gotta ask you, how is Oxygen able to get this perfect positioning consistently? Is it Medivh difference, draft difference, playstyle difference?
Zero fear. Tyke is the only burst, really. There's no Hanzo arrow to disrupt people's positioning either that would make Oxygen particularly afraid to be anywhere clumped up in any particular way. Really, the only bad thing that can happen to Oxygen is they get like 4 or 5 man Twilight Dreamed, or it gets to 20 and they get 3 to 4 man Contagion by the Haka. Before that, there's like almost no way that Oxygen could mess up. Because even minigun, it's like it's telegraphed, the gun turns orange, and then you just turn on Force of Will. I would say this is exactly as our analyst Justin expected it to go, with Diamond Hands having no initiative, no possibilities. Something went wrong, Isolation completely missed there. He actually did that into the lava.
Yeah, I saw. That's why I was oohing as I was looking at that. Like, that's how my isolations feel when I play Dahaka. It's like, no, I didn't press the button. That's the game. The game misread my pressing of R. It's not my fault. Absolutely.
input issue.
Yeah.
It's like someone from Blizzard actually messages you. They're like, hey, we're looking into this.
Oh no.
I was just making excuses, but glad to hear from you guys again.
Usually what I do at that point is I just blame it on the keyboard company that I'm using. It's like, oh, no, it was their fault. It's input lag from the keyboard that I bought. But the 16 talent here and 6 kills to 0 will be over to the side of Oxygen. And I think Vince has found his voice as a shot caller, or at least as a main tank, because it seems like he is more in charge of what they're doing on the side of Oxygen when it comes to initiations, at least as we're looking at things on the caster side.
Well, I gotta say, it's really easy when you've got Medivh with you against this team. Like, I wouldn't be afraid to shot call either as Diablo in this game.
But even then, like...
maybe, yeah.
But even like on the last map, like Cursed Hollow, I feel like Vince was very much leading the charge, quite literally, with this Diablo as well, and that's where I'm kind of starting to get this feeling that Vince is. He had a warm welcome from Diamond Hands, but Vince wants to come into week 1, at least for his first week of CCL. He wants a victory for the side of Oxygen.
Yeah, big agree there. He's looked great on Diablo, and it's a pick to look at for game number 5 as well, if there's gonna be one, and it looks like there might be. Something to consider for Diamond Hands, together with all the other considerations that they necessarily must give the other talented members of Team Oxygen. You gotta remember, Vince, Diablo, it's a possibility. Now also the Medivh. In comes the Jet Propulsion on the Haka, takes a lot of damage. First Light Bomb that actually missed, to the credit of Oxygen. But Diamond Hands, they're running away. And I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now.
Ooh.
I'd be surprised if that's not really a prediction, but
sorry.
I'm gonna state an emotion. I'd be surprised if Diablo ever drops below half-life the way that these things are going.
Are you you heard it here first, folks. Diablo will not drop below 50%. Quoted by Grubby. Or else.
No food for Logan tonight.
No. I think he gets extra food then. He gets extra food, Grubby.
Okay.
It's the opposite.
Okay.
He gets all the treats, all the food. But we have a shrine popping up. And do you want to jump into one of these teams' comms for this next shrine?
Yeah, we've looked a lot at the team that's in charge, and we've been impressed by Diamond Hands' communication before while they were winning. what makes a team truly cohesive is how you get on while you're losing. Let's listen to them.
Into Diamond Hands we go.
Gage, they have to go on us, right?
Yep. I'm just loading now.
You're a main. That's Blaze Charge.
Yeah, it's kind of big.
Intervene on Odin.
I'm Diablo.
We're on Blaze on the bot.
I'm hitting him.
I'm ulting
I
Shrine.
need help here. I need help. Need
I can't get to
Nice.
you. You're good, you're good. Diablo.
Hitting him.
He's hurt.
Blaze?
Wait, play
Play
Shrine
the
still?
shrine. Play the shrine.
Oh,
Oh, careful.
kind of big for that.
Kill the bunker.
I think Vince.
I've synced
Oh, they
here.
missed.
I've synced out of it. I
Yeah.
synced out of it. Stay. Careful.
Okay, I was looking for green. Good.
We just snipe
They're gonna
monkey.
go down. They're gonna go down.
don't
Back
work for
up.
that.
We're fine. I can snipe a bunch here, maybe. Yeah, I got a bunch.
They're on me, but I'm good.
We really need to snipe the monkeys.
Watch charge.
I'm good.
I
I'm
wrote
good.
on that.
I'm really low. I'm going in. I'm going in.
Maybe I can steal a bunch. No, it's gone. We need to get top. They might portal here.
I can jump it.
Careful, Caesar. I mean, it's just him, but it's
I've tapped for this.
I think if we get 20 to
I have
distract my
Odin
time
in 20. Yeah, I think we have to get
All in
20.
Punisher. All in Punisher.
Don't stack on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I zone him off.
Yeah, I did too early. Sorry.
I zone him off.
Good zonage. I have Odin in 10.
Yeah, 20 now.
We
can
could
donate
finish.
the cape if we have to.
They might ley line. Careful.
He's long lightning breath, by the way.
I think I can jump.
You guys jump. I'd get it.
They portal
top.
top.
I think I have Odin to do that. I think that's illegal.
Yeah, we can rip it.
Farouk,
I don't want to
see
get
if
it unless they commit. I mean, I guess it's gonna be up for Shrine anyway. I'm just gonna send it and spook him away.
We need full soak.
We'll get 20 for next try if we don't die.
They're gonna
waddle back in. Oh, it's gonna.
IV.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm gonna just throw some poke in.
Soaking mid.
Yeah, I think we're good with 20.
A different form of energy from the side of Diamond Hands. Good calls and expectations, though, Grubby.
Yeah, but you see how there's no real plan. There's no kill chance. They're just kind of firing stuff.
Yep.
Sanct again, not really doing anything. And it's really the level 20 that's going to be the big change maker. I think Valamar should grab Astral Communion. Blinking in with the Twilight Dream is going to give him the mobility that's required. And I don't even think Hanzo should get the multi-dragon. I know it's super tempting. It's so much fun! But I think he should go for the Sonic Arrow, the stun. Everything on a single fight is their best shot. They've got win condition via bot, potentially. With the Punisher going there, with Camps being there. Let's see what they're actually going to be going for. Okay, Astral Communion, great. That's exactly what you need. Dragon Awakens, I'm a little critical, but if he hits good abilities, he can actually cast 2 ults in like 10 seconds. So it's still roughly within the purview of a burst and isolation from the Haka Contagion. Let's see. I think there's a chance for Diamond Hands. So far, I would say they didn't have one. Diablo also didn't drop below 50% yet, so Logan's food is still safe. Let's keep hoping and coping. Now, let's see. Level 20s. Moderate drop low. It's a good start. Can Diamond Hands capitalize? The Haka still mid, though. He's defending the Khazra. Fort is getting poisoned down. Periodic catapults.
3 forts have fallen on the side of Diamond Hands, as well as 1 keep through the mid lane. On the opposing side of the battleground, it's going to be a single fort to fall. But when we take stock of where the next Punisher is going to be, it's going to be Frozen Punisher for the bottom lane. If Diamond Hands can win this, this is the best lane for Diamond Hands, because if they win it, we're in late game death timers, we're in late game siege potential. This could be the window that Diamond Hands needs to win this game. Though, as I say this, you look at the opposing side of the battleground, Oxygen, they get a couple picks. Oxygen runs through mid, they end game, we go to game 5. So I feel like this is a very do or die moment on the side of Diamond Hands. And Kelsier, I mean, they're landing all these scatters, which are really good. We'll see if that Dragon Awakens value will come into play right now. And Troy, looking for a drag, will not be able to find it. just skimming talents really quickly also just to see if there's anything out of the ordinary. But no, here we go, Grubby. Big fight to break out.
Let's see, we're all eyes on Astral Communion and on Isolation from Dahaka. There's a combo on Dahaka. There's the first Dragon Awakens. Let's see if he can reawaken it again, or is it taking too long of a nap? 12-second cooldown on Hanzo. Still 10 seconds. Can he cast it again? Odin is wailing away. Skeleton-wise, really good for Diamond Hands. Kelsey are trying to get more hits in. He's got another ult. He's doing it right in front of Diablo. Very, very challenging for him as a big force of will comes out on Diablo.
There's the engagement from Diablo. He pops the Lightning Breath. He's got that increased duration as well with the Hellstorm from level 20, and he's just still burninating into the enemy side. Valimar and Dintori are like, when does it end? When will it ever end? It apparently ends when Tyrael dies, but we are going to see that Frozen Punisher in the bottom lane for the side of Oxygen Esports. And there's a drag onto the Blaze, but Nintori, he was stuck dragging. I don't think he makes it out of this one alive. He tries to tunnel away. He can't do so. Tychus clearing out the top lane, but here, as I said, this is the go moment for the side of Oxygen. They have got the ability to end game through mid lane. And the one thing I gotta point out, Grubby, when Kelsier ripped one of the arrows, it's like, what, 60-second cooldown? It went to like 13 seconds off of one scatter. And
why would they walk into the ley line? Why did they walk into the ley line? It was coming and they walked out of the altar.
Maybe they wanted to I don't know. I got nothing. Maybe they wanted to give some stats over the side of Oxygen, but it doesn't matter. We're heading, ladies and gentlemen, into a game number 5. The reverse sweep potential is available for the members of Oxygen. This has been what I was expecting, Grubby, to be one of the best series of the day, and I am very happy we're heading to this map 5. Although I've been calling for Diamond Hands to win game after game, I still love that we're heading into this map number 5. We got to get Justin back into the mix because chat was ecstatic about your breakdown, your analysis, and how are you feeling being so confident to call what was a 10-0 win for Oxygen?
I'm happy for Oxygen that they were able to win. I would have been a little concerned if they were not able to win with the draft that they picked. They showed a lot of aggression in the early game, more than their draft even maybe should have allowed. So that's very good for Oxygen, especially for them trying to bring it back in the series. Having that aggression, maybe if they don't get what I would consider to be a bit of a draft mismatch like they got in this game, they're going to need that continued aggression going forward if they want to close out the series and bring out the reversal here. That being said, Medivh for Oxygen, they probably should never get that ever again. And everyone sort of forgot about Medivh. If you don't play Medivh regularly, you can't play Medivh. If you don't see it all the time, you don't think about it, it doesn't come up in the draft strategy. But I think that if every team had a Medivh player as good as Draded, it probably would never be picked because it would be permanently banned. Draded is a player that I played Medivh with back on Octalysis. We had a lot of strategies that revolved around Medivh. At the time, Draded was probably the best Medivh in NA, at least, possibly in the world. So unleashing him here in the CCL, he's cheating. At level 20, he's got Medivh cheats. He basically won the level 20 fight by himself, both of them. Grubby was asking why they walked back into the ley line. He cheats. He moved his ley line at the last moment, so they didn't even expect it, really. You could see it in the last fight. The real defining factor in the last fight was just the Draded on the Medivh. He secures the kills with the ley line at the end when they don't even expect it. Valimar gets trapped, and look at how far that goes. Draded knows what he does, or what this hero does. He's been here before. Really well played by Draded and to the rest of Oxygen.
Oxygen comes out on top of map number 4, which is Infernal Shrines, equalizing on this series. We sit 2-2 in our score, and just looking back through some of these clips, there were some really awesome moments, but here's that Medivh cheats. Yeah, they were actually walking, I don't know, I still question is why they still walked back out with the 3 members dead. Maybe they were trying to make the big defense between the Tychus and the Malfurion, but it won't be had, and we are getting set and ready to go for map number 5. It is really exciting. It's just an exciting series, Grubby. Like, I'm having a blast with this one.
Yeah, I think we actually didn't talk about it, about our expectations for the series, but I'm with you guys. I also expected a 3-2. I was telling people about it before this stream began. I think it is going to be a 3-2. Because we've got the 2 teams here that are pretty well evenly matched, both with the 1-on-1 in match score so far, and just both really good And we're getting our money's worth. Everyone that bought a ticket tonight to the HeroesHearth show, you're getting your money's worth. You're in the right stadium, and we're getting the full experience of the best of 5.
Yeah, we've got a few people watching probably over at the Next Level Gaming Center, so thank you all for hanging out with us for the HeroesCCL watch party. If you live in the Florida area and you'd like to check out Next Level Gaming, use !NXT in chat to find out more information. You can also get some awesome account benefits as well by playing Heroes of the Storm over at NXT. So utilize that command, because we are going to head to a bit of a small break. When we come back, we're going to find out who's going to win this series. Will it be a reverse sweep from Oxygen, or will Diamond Hands hold strong and be able to shut things down? This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. Welcome back to HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. We are in the midst of our first best of 5 of the day of Diamond Hands versus Oxygen Esports. We sit 2-2 on both of these scores, and we're getting ready for map number 5, the defining map to see who's going to win this series. My name is Bahamut, and I'm joined by Grubby and Justing for this afternoon of awesome Heroes of the Storm action. And getting ready for this, there's a lot of pressure on the side of Diamond Hands to not get reverse swept. And I'm sure Oxygen, they're excited. They're foaming at the mouth, maybe, for the excitement of just getting at a victory over Diamond Hands through this reverse sweep, because it's not an easy test. 5 games of Heroes of the Storm really takes a lot out of you. And I'm sure, Justin, you know all about that taxing playstyle into a game 5.
Yeah, I definitely do, and especially with the type of strategy that Diamond Hands comes with, how they don't have that one dedicated shot caller from the sounds of it, how Madara kind of micros everybody, it feels like, or like to some extent is more, controlling. I think that allows the other players to kind of like save some energy. Everyone on the side of Diamond Hands is kind of, because there is a benefits to having both different types of shot calling.
Yeah.
And so Oxygen is probably going to feel a little bit fresh. Madara might be a little rough right now, but I'm sure he's amped up. They might be in a position to reverse sweep, and Diamond Hands might be having a bit of a reminder of week 1. So there's got to be a lot of nerves going on both sides.
Both teams are nervous getting ready for our map number 5. We've got that ready to go for you all at home as well, so you can let you know where we're going to head to. It's going to be the map choice of Diamond Hands, choosing to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. And now, Grubby, this is the big thing to note. Diamond Hands was the losing team, and I don't know. I like, they're not going to go for first pick priority like we often see. Like, that's the interesting thing for me. Like, what's Diamond Hands got set for this Tomb map?
So if I were the coach of Diamond Hands and I was watching this and I was watching these games and I just came back from my hockey match with my buddies, and I had to miss it, but I come in here and I look at the drafts. I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing with the draft? You were on to a good thing on Battlefield with the Li Ming Hanzo, map appropriate, worked out. You had a nice front line in the Nubarak and Blaze. And what you guys doing with Imperius on Cursed Hollow? And now you went for Tyrael with Tychus Hanzo. Tychus wants someone to be like, hey, crony, you beat up this person while I hold him, okay? And Tychus is that crony that's going to beat up, but he needs someone to pin someone down. Tyrael can't do that. So that's not a very good synergy. I think the last 2 games, Diamond had a weak draft, and it gets to the point where they look like they're playing badly, but they just don't have the tools to do anything. And it's like when you've been playing bad and you suddenly change your mouse and you realize your old mouse was broken. It feels like it's you, but sometimes it's not. It could just be the draft. I think that's what's going on here. I think it's back to the basics. Grab a couple of stunners in the front line and then just solid backline damage dealers. Maybe just give Hanzo a little bit of a skip here, as he's been part of many of the games so far, and just go with some solid oomph that isn't too complicated, that also allows you to release some of that anxiety of the losing. And it's like, oh no, we're going to get reverse swept again.
Oh, this is a Stukov popping up for Oxygen, and I've sung the praises of Heavy Stukov, and Vala very early with a Blaze. Okay, why is it a good start?
Solid stunner in the front, solid DPS in the back. Vala is flexible, doesn't need a lot of love from her front line and healer in order to be effective. Though we did see, whose Vala was it? Able to play well with, was it CPX? Able to play well with just a Brightwing healing him, usually not enough, but I think it's a solid front and back line. Vala fits in more drafts than many DPSs. It's a good pick on the map as well. Can go anywhere from here.
I do like it. It's a little strange that they opted to go for no Brightwing, but I think that is a good thing from the side of Diamond Hands. That shows good understanding of not only just the draft meta, but kind of what they cater to as a team. So it's been noted by Legacy in an interview and just on the broadcast that Brightwing and Vala isn't necessarily the strongest combo. So I do like that they didn't take that and instead took the Blaze. I do like that a lot. The Blaze is the only offlaner who provides that secondary save, which Vala really, really wants because she does have that low HP. You do need to focus a lot of resources into her. This is a map where I wouldn't completely hate the Tyrael. Diamond Hands was a team that played the Malfurion Tyrael Vala composition previously, and they made it look pretty good. They do take away the Diablo from Vince. I think that's a pretty good choice as well. I'm hoping that it's the W build that Vince was running. There's a lot of success to be had with that build, I think.
Well, is this not just going to be a response Garrosh from the side of Oxygen? I feel like there's so much good control with a Garrosh into the Blaze and Diablo, Grubby.
Yeah, Garrosh always a pick, but remember, Diamond Hands can still go Medivh as well themselves this time. And it's going to be that single target shot from the Varian Stukov synergy with Tychus, absolutely lethal combo with the Haka and Mephisto to wreak havoc in AoE circles. I like what Oxygen put together, and there's so much reason to pick Medivh, in my opinion. So much reason. The only reason not to is if you don't know how to play it.
Maybe they don't. It's going to be a Chromie last pick. Hey, maybe they don't. I don't know. I mean,
I agree.
Am I overvaluing the Medivh here, you think, Justin?
No, I definitely agree with you, Grubby. I think either picking Medivh or a Zarya would have been something that would have enabled the composition a lot. It probably is that they do not know how to play those, or they're not comfortable playing those, and maybe Kelsier is just really wants to show off his moves on Chromie in this game 5. So you can never really go wrong with Chromie on this map. It might be a lot on Valamar's plate to save people from one-shots with the Varian taunt into Tychus damage. Chromie on Tomb, though, is very oppressive, and it is something that, while it doesn't stop people from getting one-shot, it does create space for the Vala, so in a different sort of way, it kind of creates some space for her to play the game, but I think Oxygen's comp is a little bit easier to play. It's very, very hard for Malfurion to stop the one-shot on the side of Oxygen Esports.
I absolutely agree. I mean, I wrote down a Diamond Hands win as I've just been like, you know what, they're gonna win the series. That's where I'm at. But when we take stock of what actually was drafted, who's playing what, I mean, we got Heavy back on that Stukov, and it was so oppressive when he was able to get onto it for that map number 3. But either way, Justin, we will see you after map number 5, because we are loaded on in and we have got Oxygen Esports on the left-hand side, potentially reverse sweeping Diamond Hands, Vince on the Varian, Nasmus on the Dahaka, Madara playing the Mephisto, Heavy Hooten on the Stukov, and Tychus to be played by Draded. The Diamond Hand side of things, looking to not get reverse sweep and just put a bit of a cork in the explosiveness that is Oxygen Esports. We've got Filth on the Vala, Kelsier on the Chromie, Valamar, oh my god, on the Malfurion, Nintori to play the Blaze, and Caesar Salad on the Diablo. I've made my prediction here, Grubby, but I got to get your thoughts on what you expect or will see for this Tomb map.
Well, here's what I'm missing. It's that Medivh, but here's what Chromie can bring to Diamond Hand. Sticking Temporal Loop and Mephisto that shades forward and bring him back to the front line. That can be nice. Here's what Diamond Hands can't do. They can't cleanse Taunt. Now, Furion has a cleanse that is somewhat conditional. I don't think it works on silences. So both Stukov and Varian can be a really big threat. So it's all about the counterattack then. Maybe we'll see a lot of kills. Medivh games tend to be tame in death, and if you do have a bit of if you do feel a bit partial to carnage and death, then this is going to be a better game, because there's no choice but to attack for Diamond Hands. Whoever gets deleted by Varian, bad luck, see you on the other side. But we're going to take someone else down with Vala and Chromie and Blaze perhaps.
Bit of an adaptation as well from the side of Diamond Hands on this Tomb of Spider Queen map. Oftentimes we see the double soak from the core 4 between top and mid. But we're not seeing that, obviously. We're actually going to be seeing a bottom lane priority for the side of Diamond Hands. They'll grab the Siege Giants, and they're going to look to just open up this bottom map. The kind of the unfortunate factor in this is Vala stacking is going to be a little bit difficult, as there's no one you're matching in the rotations against. So you can't just pop the W consistently on the enemies that are rotating and getting the dismounts. Also, Diablo building his souls will be a little bit more difficult. No Fire Stomp build just yet, as Madara is going to get pressure applied, but some chromie damage is going to be mitigated. Also, you have that healing over time as well. So Dahaka, Blaze will be our double soakers, with bottom lane being the priority, and Tychus kind of floating around looking to put pressure onto Notori from time to time. It seems like if this is the case, Caesar Salad and Diamond Hands should be able to open up bottom lane fairly easily, since there's no fourth member to match this bottom pressure. Interesting calls from Oxygen right now.
Yeah, exactly. And what did Diamond Hands lose out in the meantime? 80% of the health of their mid gate, 5% of their health of the top tower, and about 20% of their health on the top gate. So definitely a worthwhile trade for Diamond Hands. They're off to a good start. They've also got priority on the Bruiser camp that they'll be capping now. Though I must say that a quicker Bruiser camp isn't necessarily better if played wrong. Oh, okay, I like that. Not capping it immediately, because again, just like the Hogger camp on Alterac, if you cap about 8 seconds slower, 10, 15, then the Bruiser camps meet on your side inside the towers. Yep. And that can give you a Bruiser camp for a longer period. If you look at the gem count, 38, the Bruiser camp may just still be alive as you pick up your final 50th gem. I wonder how well they planned this out. It seemed pretty damn meticulous by Diamond Hands. Let's see if they can actually get their 50 gem off of the distraction of their own alive Bruiser camp.
Vin's going to get pushed around right now. He goes in for the taunt, and that's going to be a kill onto Vala. First blood in favor of Oxygen. Vin's taking tower shots, but he is fine. We still have that camp of giving some spell armor to the side of Oxygen. There's a drag to connect onto Blaze. Notori trying to back away with the Jet Propulsion, has 26 of those gems. Vincent, I was looking at Vincent Dahaka. They were considering stepping back in, but I think Draded and the rest of Oxygen will look for this turn, and I'm going to quickly look at the gem count. Tychus and Dahaka are the two that need to turn in. Draded with 12, Nasmus with 22. Lurking Arm from the Stukov. There's a taunt from the Varian onto the Diablo. Caesar Sal taking a lot of damage. Does have to get the Shadow Charge onto this Mephisto to back away.
Nice Shadow Charge away. It actually looked tough. Silencing Arm still cutting off his retreat. Madara unintentionally gave Diablo the jump away point. It could have been hard for him otherwise. 20 gems have been paid by Oxygen, but great job by Diamond Hands to salvage the situation after that Vala death, which, by the way, we have a replay of, Baha.
Well, let's go ahead and break this down for everyone at home and see how things actually went over to the side. So we do have this press into the gate of Diamond Hands, and there's going to be Shadow Charge onto Vince, but he sees the Vala and he goes, ooh, that is a perfect taunt target for me, and Vince is able to back away, tanking a couple tower shots. Love the way that Oxygen was able to make that quick call from Vince's Varian.
A little bit ironic, because it's Caesar Salad that overpowered the Varian into the gate. Then Heavy, he parted the composition of Diamond Hands with that arm. Godfield had to walk through the Lurking Arm and then walked into the Variant that had been put there so nicely by Diablo. So if he could have looked into the future, I don't think Caesar Salad would have flipped in Variant. But it's okay, he's got his comeuppance. We didn't see it, it was too graphic. I'm glad we didn't see it, it was way too graphic. But Diablo goes down. Oxygen gets his second kill. Maybe third? That's 36 gems! Wow.
Pyromania was applied, and Notori is able to back away. Nasmus trying to get the last few gems turned in. Vince trying to body block the Chromie shots. She did have the echo, the sand echo on the ground, but it didn't seem like the angle was right to be able to interrupt regardless. But here comes this first objective phase. 10 talents here on the horizon. Oxygen have a little bit of an advantage in the experience department, but this Webweaver phase should be a big bolster to that experience bar on the left side.
Let's see, it's fairly even, but like you said, Oxygen should kind of pull ahead in the experience department. They have split 1-3-1 with Tychus and Chromie in the top. We've got Temporal Loop, so Kelsier must be considering that if she gets one successful hit in, as it gives massive CDR and she can win a one-on-one that way. Though, Tychus can hit Odin to make himself unstoppable during the loop, so he's fairly safe doing what he's doing. Take a quick sneak peek bot, nothing going on there.
You also have the Dahaka able to burrow onto the ground and mitigate the temporal loop value as well, and then you got Lurking Arm from Stukov, and that's not going to stop the temporal loop, but what it does stop is Chromie from launching an assault of Sandblast abilities to your face, so this is looking good for the side of Oxygen, as I keep saying, but they've got a lot of really good tools that I'm liking how they're playing this, liking the momentum from Oxygen. I'm regretting a little bit of my prediction, but that is something on this side. Varian did go into the charge at level 10, so he's got so many charges, big Durance of Hate, big Lurking Arm, 40-some gems on the ground, Lightning Breath from Diablo into the backline. Madara getting very low, but they jump on top of this Malfurion. He will fall as well. Got Filth being chased by Nasmus. Nasmus needs one singular drag. Nasmus
9
needs...
HP!
Nasmus! Oh, why did you burrow? No! Nasmus is going to let the Vala get away. Maybe he was expecting... I don't know what he was actually
I
expecting
think there was a roleplay, ERP. He was burrowing his head in shame because he didn't catch up to the Vala. It was kind of a BM burrow. Maybe he thought it was the movement speed from 16 was online already. But my god, that was a lot of gem denial. Nintori was carrying 43 gems. And I feel that with the healer Malf there, with the tank Diablo there, Blaze getting caught, even when he's face checking, should not result in a death, normally. If the draft is quite right, it looks like a perfectly nice draft, but it's not quite right. And I do believe we have a replay of that moment. Look, Blaze walks in, he gets big time comboed. Did something?
I think it restarted. There you go.
Okay, let's look at it again. He gets big time comboed, but there's no true cleanse against this, right? Like if you've got an Uther there, he can just walk away, no problem. Diablo's counter engage not threatening or disruptive enough to have any counter there either. Oh, 34 gems were lost on Chromie as well. Oh, absolute catastrophe. Great trap by Oxygen. But again, like, it should have been fine. Normally it should be fine. Even if it was 4v4, Blaze, very tanky, but he just falls down there, and it shows the power of Oxygen's pick-off potential and the lack of that cleanse.
Webweavers have descended into lane while we were looking at that replay, and we also did have a temporal loop just a second ago on Madara, but pretty much it deals 50% damage to Madara, and that's whatever, because Madara is healed back up by Heavy. I also wanted to point out in that replay, hold on, I'm going to hold my thought because we have Diablo with the Lightning Breath. He got hit with the Durance of Hate, but it is going to be a disengage. Wait, hold on. Vince goes for the taunt onto Valimar, a little bit of a wiggle, trying to mimic what Cure did last week on this variant on Tomb. Not enough wiggles to body block, but still, Heavy going to snipe that kill with the Stukov. Just out of curiosity, Stukov deals 435 damage. It's always comical to look at Stukov's auto attack damage as a healer, that he hits like a bus. Also, his auto attacks come once every new moon, if I'm not mistaken.
New Moon? Isn't that a book from Stephanie Meyer?
It's my favorite movie series, actually, yeah.
Really?
No. No.
Did you like the books?
I actually did not read them.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
They're nice.
Okay, all right. I'll add it to my wish list. But the biggest thing that I want to talk about right now, and I've mentioned this a bunch, is just Heavy Stukov. Like during that engagement in bottom, Blaze couldn't get the bunker, which would have been the self cleanse out of all of that. Out of all of that, but Heavy had the growing infestation, so Blaze just couldn't even get out of the Lurking Arm to be able to pop the bunker. So just a lot of really good tech from the side of Oxygen, controlling these fights, controlling this map, and its continued domination. And realistically, Grubby, this objective phase from Diamond Hands, I like to call this when I cast it, this is a pause on the map. This is a defensive turn-in from Diamond Hands. It's not going to yield anything, but just to buy an opportunity to try and push out these waves.
Well, technically, right, it should be able to buy something, because when you look at the draft of Diamond Hands, it's not a passive draft with Tyrael that can't get a kill. They should be able to get a kill, right? They're just not. They're not setting up in the bush. They don't get the stuns and the follow-up. But, you know, defense already doesn't work. Remember, there's no cleanse. So, against Silence, with defense not working, you might as well be aggressive. We need to see Caesar Salad walking up mounted and just destroying someone. Diamond Hands needs to make the first move. It's equal talents. The Webbies are out. I don't think they should have played it as passively as they just did in the last 20 seconds. Do I know exactly how they could have made a kill? Maybe no. I don't think this was just a defensive reset button. They should try to get more, because the game will go out of control if you play it that way.
This is actually a question that was posed to me from my chat because I was asking them for a lot of concepts for you and I to go through, as well as jesting on the broadcast. And I think this is a really good opportunity to ask you, when do you decide to turtle up? Because I think this is what Diamond Hands is considering. And when do you go all in from a behind perspective? So Diamond Hands being behind, when should they be going all in, and when should they be turtling up on this map right now, Grubby?
Well, I guess you can turtle, for example, for the Chromie level 14, which is now online. Chromie maybe level 18, so that you can double loop. You can also turtle forever and just slowly lose, or you can wait for a mistake. And sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. And it's hard when you're still down in talents. Like obviously, Oxygen would have to give them that opportunity. Maybe you need to start thinking also of, when is Mephisto a little bit less threatening? Because off of a globe, he's very threatening. You always have the Mephisto team thinking of, yo guys, I need a globe to activate my level. Wait, he doesn't have spite. Never mind. Take it away.
That's okay.
He didn't. He went for the shield at 4. Yeah. Just safety, not that bonus CDR for his ability. So okay, I guess that's not an option. It's a super safe Mephisto build, so he's not going to be as weak outside of globes as he otherwise would be. So now Diamond Hands just has to defend. They've missed their window.
So it is going to be another turtle up for Diamond Hands. They're going to play around their heap structures. Vala already in the top lane. She needs to be careful of a quick rotation into top, as there was... No, I thought I saw Durance of Fate animation, but I think it was just a skull missile. Here comes the Commandeer Odin from Draded. No big red button, no level 20. 16 talent here will trickle in for Diamond Hands. The top lane, Webweaver getting cleared out by the Vala, uncontested. Bottom lane being pushed up by Nasmus. Mid lane cleared out by Caesar Salad as best he can with some Fire Stomps. Kelsier with the Sandblast as well. And this keep... Oh, nice shove from Heavy.
Oh, nice.
And it just kind of pushes back the Diablo, allowing bottom lane, the Dahaka, to continue to allow this pressure to come through. Isolation was on Blaze. No follow-up drag. Was it off cooldown? It was. Every time I check Nasmus with the Dahaka, and I'm like, oh, they must have had drag off on cooldown. It's not. Like, the Vala kill, unless I completely missed the window to check it, had drag, and I feel like drag would have killed the Vala, because drag does do contact damage. Right now, at least, it does 324 damage. But even then, like, Vala had like 50 health as she was running away. It would have killed her, because around like level 4, it has 160 something damage. The only reason I know this is because someone had paralyzing enzymes, or actually it's level 7. Regardless, someone took paralyzing enzymes in a cast, and I really think it's such an undervalued talent. It's just hard to take with Symbiosis and Feeding Frenzy at 7, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm afraid to take that just because the other Q talent gives me more opportunities to miss or hit.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The paralyzing enzymes, it reads really powerfully. I get that slow and stuff, and the longer drag, right? But if you miss it, that's 16 seconds of shame.
I mean, that is a consideration. Yeah, you do have that cooldown on it. But I do say this, though, Grubby. If you do make the contact with the drag, around level 20, you deal like 800, 900 damage with just your drag, because there is that extra damage from paralyzing enzymes. But I also agree with you at the same time. You got drag cooldown reduction at level 7, and you have a 0.5 duration increase, which takes you from 1.75 drag to a 2.25. And 0.5 seconds in Heroes of Storm, we've all been on the receiving end of a 0.5 just like CC or anything. It just, that extra duration feels like an eternity.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to last forever, especially with the Stuko of Silence coming over you. So let's look at this. Nasmas coming in from the flank. We've got the Rain of Vengeance. Now the next target is Caesar Salad. He's trying to run away into the wall. He actually uses the Haka as a springboard to get away. There was a trap there too, but he got blown up by AoE. Blaze choosing to leave the siege camp that is still very much alive in the bottom lane, saying like, hey guys, do you need me? And he's showing. Nintori, Blaze, showing in the lane, coming top, and that is the reason for Oxygen to pull back. It's a small window. Now, this is a defensive web weaver. Yeah. Right here. They're going to use it to stop the siege camp, which will probably take off. Well, depends how quickly they get there. It's still busy with the minions.
Yeah, the Siege Giants should be addressed easily here. And would you like to get into Diamond Hands comms? I know they're behind, but we haven't heard from them a little bit.
Yeah.
Into Diamond Hands we go.
Yeah.
Is it possible we could get top for it?
I think we maybe look at the hockey
Probably
here.
not. Yeah, I mean, we can try.
We don't have.
It waits.
Yeah, get the waves, get the waves. 20 is probably out here.
How close are they to turn? They don't have any in. Do that.
They're like 10 away, I think.
I think they're 20.
Quick
math.
let's stop.
I don't know if we
Get
20 before
mid-wave.
turn. We can get ball.
I mean, honestly, we can eat a turn. We have every keep up.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna have to eat a turn.
Yeah. She's back, she's back. It's really scary being in the bot lane, I think.
It's okay. It was just awkward.
We get the top fort, hopefully, here.
Early.
Go him. No, we're not getting it.
Can we snipe it while dog?
Probably scary.
It's not that big of a deal, honestly.
No, it's not gonna give him very much XP at this point.
We're trying to throw vision.
Oh, rip
probably
it, rip
hold
this.
Hold it for
Yeah.
boss. They're
Ripping
gonna go
bruisers.
boss.
Okay.
I don't know.
And we just have the data keep, I think.
Oh wait, they dug the boss, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can deboss. Can we sneak turn? Yeah, me and Tori go turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need it to neutralize. We need to neutralize. This is perfect. We just D corner now.
Probably get this.
A lot of just quieter conversations on the side of Diamond Hands, but you even hear from them just like, over here is scary, being in bottom is scary, we have to eat this, can we get top lane for it? There's a lot of things rolling around in the Diamond Hands' minds that they get this turn in to defend, but here is the big defense in top lane. If Oxygen can get a kill or two here, Grubby, this would be game, set, match for Oxygen.
Yeah, this is Oxygen's time to shine and to make the complete turnaround here. There is that web weaver that helped out a lot here. They're saving their keeps, you know. Had I hadn't heard the near feeling and sense of defeat in Diamond Hans's voice, had we not heard those comms, thank you, HeroesHearth, then I would have felt fine for them. They defended the boss, they did lose a lot of gems. They still got all the chances. They got bottom forward. Now they can actually get top forward. Chromie gonna walk forward for a Dragon Breath. Hurrah! Got that one. So that's 2 forts. It sounds fine. But the mood? It was ghoulish.
Oh yeah. It was just it wasn't like they had accepted defeated, but you definitely could hear just that somberness in their voices as they're just trying to make calls, make course correction, if you will. And I'm not counting Diamond Hands out by any means, because they are starting to build that momentum. Getting these 3 forts right here should feel like a big bolster in their excitement and in their power level. Because also, speaking of power level, it's 20s across the board, Grubby. We do have that extended lightning for the Diablo, but the biggest thing in my opinion to note is actually going to be Vala. She has her Farflight quiver, so she can really just outrange, outgap so many enemy members, and Kelsier can play into that with this Chromie. I'm looking at Diablo, Caesar Salad. He needs to make some big plays for this Vala and Chromie to pop off, but here we could see a fight in mid lane.
They're moving at him. He managed to get away just in time, as Bruiser Camp is still marching pretty healthy, about 80%, and the Web Weavers. Now, Diamond Hands has the siege camp. It's all about mid keep. Top lane is pushed, bottom is pushed, the Haka is forced away. I think Diamond Hands can defend this very cheaply and easily. They're making a comeback, the mood notwithstanding, and something good has to happen, and that's gonna reinvigorate you. They're going for Tychus. The Haka from the flank misses isolation. A lot of damage taken by Madara, but he does have those shields. They're now going on Diablo. That's endurance. Madara dropping low. They managed to drop him and Varian in unison. Diamond Hands quietly clawed their way back to the summit of this mountain of desperation, as they've got a triple kill, as only the Web Weavers in the center are pushing in, as Caesar Salad miraculously stayed alive, and now they smell blood, and there's a Twilight again, Bahamut, and they're going for the mid gate, they're going for the keep, and they want to end the game. They don't think that their core is threatened enough. There's only 1 catapult. They're going straight past the gate. No, Caesar Salad, not the towers.
No,
This is Stukov in a 5v1. What are we doing here? Get us out! Draydon going forward with the grenade.
Melting point. Lurking arm, they lose some gems. Diamond Hands was shimmering in the sunlight, but the eclipse, the clouds, they came overhead, and Caesar Salad, he's trying to defend against this massive wave coming in. There's a catapult. Chromie is gonna go down. The B-steps from Gut Filth. Are you unsure if do you need a hearth or save your core? I don't think you got time to B-step there, bud. 55% remains on the side of Diamond Hands, and things are spiraling out of control in map number 5. I had said this through the week, Grubby. I think all the three of us have been saying this on the broadcast. This was gonna be a good best of 5, and we are seeing it right now. Vince calling, leading the charge to go core. Can Vince help his team take a victory? And will this be my pal Vince's first CCL victory in his first week of CCL? We got Caesar Salad dead. No souls available for Diablo. 69 stacks on the Vala. She's trying to multi-shot her way, but it doesn't matter. The Commandeer Odin is here. Vince approaches core, and ladies and gentlemen, Oxygen have reverse sweep Diamond Hands. My pal Vince gets his first victory in CCL, his first week in HeroesCCL after being drafted by Oxygen. And Vince, hey, I gotta say, Oxygen, they moved some roster members around, and it looks like it's working out for them. Would you not agree, Justin? I gotta get you back in here, my friend.
Yeah, that was what a crazy ending to the game, to the series. It felt like there was a miniature reverse sweep within the reverse sweep there at the end, where it felt like it might be over for Diamond Hands, that they got the 3 kills, they marched down to the core, but they didn't really have enough steam in the tank. You saw Diablo fell to towers there in conjunction with the Tychus and Stukov with the puddle. On the puddle build from Stukov is really, really scary when you have to walk through those chokes, because the range is so long too, so he's pretty fearless. That was about the worst member to still be alive if you're a Diamond Hands player there, is to have to deal with that Stukov. But it was crazy. These final moments when it's in a best of 5 like this, and it goes the distance, there's so much pressure on all the players. They're not playing the game from an objective standpoint anymore. There's so much nerves and pressure and adrenaline that is just driving all of your decisions. You cannot think straight when you're in that situation. When it's that late in the game, they were desperate, as you could tell. They were losing the whole game. That seemed like their moment to come back, and they felt, we got 3 kills, we need to take full advantage of this, we need to end the game. But as you could tell, it just definitely wasn't enough for them in the end. Shoutouts to Oxygen. They played a great series. They did manage to get the reverse sweep. That Diamond Hands, it's kind of, I don't know, week 1 and 3 now they've fallen in this fashion, the reverse sweep. They need to maybe save up a little bit more, have a little bit more in the tank, maybe not go so all in on the first 2 games, because it's biting them in the butt in these first and last series there. So, but huge props to Oxygen for pulling it out in the end.
Yeah, an explosive series to say the least. That was extremely fun. I like Grubby. I had such a blast with that series in totality, personally.
Yeah, me too. And it lived up to it. Getting that 3-2, the manner in which in the 5th map certainly at least quite hilarious to me. And I think a lot of chat as well, and you guys. In that final moment there, Diamond Hands, it felt like they were a team of 5 famished people that had been hungry for so long, coming off of that mood of famine and hunger, that when someone offered them a shoe, they all grasped it like it was a steak dinner. And they were like, yeah, shoe. And then like halfway through with like the laces hanging out of their mouth, they're like, wait, shoes aren't good food. In fact, they're not any food. What are we doing here? Get out. But by that time, it was too late already for them. And yeah, I think this, like Justin said, it wasn't logical anymore. If they got that during a paper assignment, like, is this a good moment to go all in? These are the conditions. They'll be like, no. Like, you just stabilize, you do this, you do that, maybe you get a fort, kill the towers, kill the gates, open up, set up the next. But in that moment, they were a desperate person given a chance suddenly, and they just got too excited. As for Heavy and Oxygen, a great moment. Heavy with the most kills on his team. As many as everyone else combined. Last hits, that lurking arm from the back. Like you said, the most dangerous person to still be alive. He must have had a lot of fun there.
You cannot give Heavy his Stukov like that. Like, I have said it in previous streams. I've said it. I think I've actually said it here as well. And this is another great example. This lurking arm right there, Diablo. Oh god, you live through that massive engagement in the right side of the map, and then you come over to the left, and you just get annihilated by Heavy because he actually went in and found that secondary kill at the end of that last clip. God, man, I really gotta say, like, I'm so impressed with Oxygen. They really, really impressed me today. I think Diamond Hands had a great showing. I think both of you are correct in the sense of, they need to build up that steam for that 3rd game. It seemed like things were falling apart for Diamond Hands, but we can talk enough about Diamond Hands. Let's talk about Oxygen, because I believe we've got Vince on the line, the brand new tank for Oxygen. Vince, can you hear me, my friend?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Congratulations on your first victory in HeroesCCL, as well as congratulations on the reverse sweep. How you feeling?
I feel great. That was a really good last game. It was really fun.
It looked a lot of fun on our end, but I don't want to hog all the questions. Justing, any questions for my pal Vince?
Yeah, so congrats, first of all. That's a fun series for sure, especially for your debut. What do you, what kind of, how did the comms change between games 2 and 3? Because obviously you guys are down 0-2 at the start of the series and you managed to bring it back for the reverse sweep. How do you sort of, especially from your position, you're a new player coming onto the team, how is that environment like between game 2 and 3?
We just talked about our game plan, and then we were just talking about how we were going to execute it, and then I just remembered that I had to play like more aggressive and to look for stuff and not be too scared or too nervous. And people were telling me we're fine, you know, like this, like we can come back. It's not a big deal.
Really well played, honestly, and we were all actually commenting on your voice kind of coming in for the team coming into that game 3, 4, and 5. Really well played. Grubby, any questions for my pal Vince?
Yeah, I've got 2 questions. First of all, congrats and welcome to the league. First question is, you mentioned nerves. Were you very nervous going into the match?
Yeah, because I'm going up against like some of my better friends in the community, so it was so I really wanted to beat them. So So yeah, I was just trying to just do my best like on my first day. So
awesome. And what about you as a tank? Is there a big difference in your level of comfort on different tanks? You got Diablo twice, that was part of your victory twice, and then they took Diablo away, perhaps recognizing your comfort on it. Would you say that's accurate? And do you have anything else to add about your preferences in tanks or your dislikes?
I think Diablo is just a good hero in general. I definitely really like Diablo. He's really fun, and I'm pretty good at him. So I don't know if they specifically targeted me. Maybe Diablo was just a good pick for them. But you know, I was just trying to do like what I could. And Diablo's like one of my more comfort tanks. As far as like tanks that I don't really like or can play a lot, I kind of don't like Garrosh and stuff like that. But the more aggressive stuff, you know, I really like.
Got it. Thank you, man.
Oh, thank you so much, Vince, for the insight and answering all of our fun questions here. Before I let you run out and celebrate your first CCL victory and the victory with your friends, are there any shouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Diamond Hands and the ACA boys on Diamond Hands. They're just really good friends of mine, and I think they played exceptionally well. And we barely made it out. Like, it was a heavy diff last game, and. Shout out to everyone on my team. They're all really fun to play with. The environment's great, and I'm really enjoying my time in CCL. It's honestly a dream come true. Like I've been grinding for a really long time to get into CCL, and I finally made it. So just try to play my best and try to win as much as possible.
Well, you definitely made a great debut, and I'm very happy as well to see you here in CCL. I've been watching you rise through the different Heroes Lounge NGS stuff, so congratulations for joining us for CCL, and congratulations once again, my pal Vince, on the victory. Thank you for joining us for the interview, and we look forward to seeing you next weekend up against Chili Mountain. You have an awesome day, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Like, you can definitely, like, you can hear it a little bit, Grubby and Justing. Like, he was a little nervous to be here today, and maybe those nerves were shown in games 1 and 2, but he came out on top of this match 3, 4, and 5. Like, I think Vince is really good for the Oxygen roster, and I'm excited to see his future for that team as well. Diamond Hands, hey, I gotta give credit where credit's due, though. They did play a great series. They fall on map number 5, but still, I think they did a wonderful job in the series. There's a lot to learn and grow from, but I don't think Diamond Hands by any means is like a bottom team. As you can see, though, the ticker at the bottom of our screen has flipped over, and we are getting ready for our next best of 5. It's going to be Granite Gaming up against Chili Mountain. Both of these teams sit at the 7th, 8th, positions respectively based off of, I believe, it's just tiebreaker stats at that point. But either way, one of these teams will find their first map victory. One of these teams will find their first series victory in HeroesCCL. We're going to take a short little break. In that break, I encourage you to hit ! prize pool to check out our prize pool. And if you'd like to donate towards the match arena, we always very much appreciate it. Thank you for all your support for HeroesCCL. We'll be back with that Chili Mountain versus Granite Gaming Best of 5 series in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom.